Hey y'all, how is everybody doing today? Hey y'all, it is Thursday night. Thursday night, peaceful Thursday night. Shalom, shalom, shalom. How are you guys doing? Hey ATL Shorty, I don't know if you're still in here, but hi. I came in a little bit early because I just wanted to make sure that everything was good. We're going to talk about women of faith. We're going to talk about men of faith. Just have a real quick conversation. Anybody is more than welcome to join me on the panel. More than welcome. We're gonna have a good conversation. And I do find this topic very interesting. It's been brought up over and over again. Um, so I was asked by a friend to go and check out a video. And in the video, the name of the video is Why Do Men Go After Women of Faith? Hold on. Hey, the real Brown Family Chronicles. Happy Thursday, Shalom. So the title um of the video that he wanted me to watch, it was Why Do Men who won't submit to God want to be with a woman of faith? Is basically what the video he wanted me to review was. And the lady had some really good talking points. But I find like if you that question should be asked to a man, like why, if you're not a man of faith, then why would you go and um go after a woman who is a woman of faith? What is the draw? um yeah, like what is the draw to you? What is the attraction? What is the goal? Is the goal to break that person down to your level so you can start um maybe having that person go your way of instead of the way the path the Lord is leading them? Also, sometimes I actually think that this is like 5% or less. Sometimes a man could be attracted to a woman of faith because he's attracted to the God in her and is not really realizing that. And actually, through conversations, if you're having yeah, like through conversations, this person decides to give his life to God. So um I think that there's many reasons why men who don't want to submit to God want a faithful woman. And not all of them are good. I always say that when you're praying about your match, if you're a woman, you're praying about your husband because women, we get, while we're growing up, we are taught to be wise. We grow up taught to be wise, and men are kind of like, um, I don't know. It's not. I don't know if they're taught to be husbands. So I think that there's a lot of women out there. Excuse me. I feel like there's a lot of women out there that are married to men who love them because that they wanted a good wife. So they got their good wife. A lot of the times, the men, they have what they really want on the side, but Yeah, that could be that could be part of it. But I did want to say that on the other hand, why do women of faith go after men who they know will not submit to God? And if you're a Christian, or if you are of a faith where the husband is supposed to be the head, so if you are a woman of faith, and okay, so if you're a woman of faith, hey Mimi, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. If you're a woman of faith, um, the draw to men who won't submit. Hey, Amanda. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming in. You guys can hit the panel if you want to. I was just saying how real. Well, there one of the people I'm subscribed to. I share her a lot on my posts, and she had shared something about um having a partner that's equally yoked, and also a partner that, hey Vaughn Boot, also a partner that stimulates you spiritually, can submit to God, treats you right, and you treat that person right. Hi, sweet Alice. Um, so hey Real, you can jump up if you want to. Hello.
Hey, I was in the
Hey
bike.
me.
I said, I'm in the
I
bike.
don't even pay attention, so I'm glad that you said so. So I was just saying that Real, he's in the chat. He
Uh-huh.
said, okay, so this I've been posting this woman I subscribe to. I've been posting her posts,
Mhm.
and so she was just saying how you need to find somebody that you're equally yoked to, and
That's
a man that submits to God. Hey Janice,
mhm.
and so he turned me to this video that said why do men who do not want to submit to God want a woman of faith? What is it that they want out of that woman?
It's the submissiveness of the woman.
Hmm.
That most of the time, men that are not, in church, but they know they consider, and I'm air quoting,
Uh-huh.
church women to be, the good women, the women that you want to marry, and the submissive women. But we know,
Hmm.
I think the draw to sometimes women that pick men that won't submit to God is because we as women sometimes we think we can fix them.
Right.
We all think that we all are have the best, a gold mine around here, and we think that we can honestly change a person. But
Hmm.
the reality and the fact of the matter is, we only have the ability to change ourselves, and we don't even have the ability to do that. That we have to do that
Right.
through God.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, that's
I also I also, like, growing up, I always heard that sometimes people will say that they deal with church women or women of faith because they're easy. Like, they're easier to get in bed. Like, you would think that, oh, because they believe in God, this is that.
oh,
So, they go, yeah. So I've heard that. Hey Nesto, hey ATL. Yeah, I've heard men say like, "Oh, church women are freaks. They're easy to get in bed."
And I heard that
Um,
they freaks, yeah, but hey, I don't know about easy to get in bed now. Look. Uh,
that's
Mm,
just what I've
well,
heard
is that
from
the truth?
men
Real? Is
over
that
the.
the truth? Talk to us, real.
That is just what I've
well,
heard from men.
Yeah.
hello.
Go
Hey,
ahead, real.
Mimi. Hey, Sinner.
Hey,
Sinner,
real.
what's going
What's
on,
up,
everybody? Chat
Wilson?
to chat.
Yeah,
So, there's different perspectives and different timelines that go on,
right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you all are right. But what I like to do is still open people up to different perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right.
So, the reason why I like to do this is because, like me, I actually invest my time in
Mm-hmm.
finding out solutions to many of the problems that we all commonly face together.
Okay.
And these questions that arise while certain people are just, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be online and stuff. And it's like inside my free time, it's like I'm cultivating myself, cultivating knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
doing my part.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now there's a group of people out there who will say, oh, you're wrong, this and the third. I'm like, no, I'm just adding to our equation. So
Mm-hmm.
another part. So that's the reason why I said that, so we can all get an understanding. This is not
Uh-huh.
me planting things in people's heads. It's,
Uh-huh.
hey, let's look at it this way, or this is a new way of trying something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another reason why men also do end up trying to go after women of faith or church women. So a lot of men from, if you want to say like the hood or ghetto areas, right?
Uh-huh.
They're used to dealing with a certain type of woman.
Right.
And they see that it doesn't go anywhere. It's just like, oh, I'm partying with my friends, I'm doing this, I'm selling my food stamps, I'm having different baby daddies, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
popping this, popping pills. So sometimes men get sick of that, right?
Right.
And now they know, like, okay, this woman of God, I'm attracted to her
Mm-hmm.
because of her values. And I know
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not a man of God, but this woman, she's clean. She has
Mm-hmm.
a good head on her shoulders. She cooks. She's not
Mm-hmm.
ghetto. She's not nasty. She's going somewhere where I could see myself going. So like, like I could definitely build with this. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
they might have lust factor inside their mind and other things, but that's another reason why men are attracted to those kind of women as they get older, because they realize like this is something that I kind of need. Like the traditional woman, and they see those values in it.
Okay, so the traditional woman, what would be the traditional woman, including like clothing?
Well, I won't say clothing too much because that's very subjective to each and everyone's different style and what region you're in. But like a traditional, it's kind of like slightly strong-headed,
Mm-hmm.
but within a reason where it's not overly masculine, but just
Mm-hmm.
just right. Can at least whip up a meal or cook up some meal, has
Mm-hmm.
values to herself, and you could tell that she's kind of like clean. Like, like some women is just like, you know, you could
I
tell they've
got you.
been smoking this and doing that and
Right.
popping this, and then they get this
Mm-hmm.
look. So
Mm-hmm.
with church women, they kind of like, okay, this is somebody I can bring home to my mama. Like, and it,
But and that okay, so I understand that.
but their carnal side still fights with them because of the, like, don't think that men don't think that. They do think about that stuff. But their
Mhm.
carnal side, because they haven't like submitted or known about the gospel or being trained in certain ways, they're not going to know that fully.
Hey,
But
Briley.
their mind still sees that woman as like, oh, I want, because if that's the case, they could just go and find the natural, normal, sexy reds and go to the club and do
Yeah,
that.
for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. But are men more attracted to women of faith? And faith can be, I mean, there's degrees of faith. But are men more attracted to women of faith than they are, like, say, the Instagram model, or the women with a couple of kids, or is do you think that church women of faith are the most attractive to men?
like as far as like morally wise and that part of the mind where it's like I know I need that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Like trust me, like men, see the
Mhm.
men, they're just not gonna talk about it. They're not really attracted to the whole IG models and Instagram. It's just a thing that men do amongst other men, like, yo, shorty, don't nobody
Yeah.
really care about no fake butt, fake boobs, all this stuff,
Okay.
and it looks stupid. And I
Okay.
mean, you know, like some woman that every single man wants.
Mhm.
It's just
Or
the thing.
some women that every man has had.
Yeah, that too.
Um, okay. So what so okay, so you talked about the modern day woman. Okay, so sexually, okay, because we're grown, are men more attracted to church women or the Instagram model? I'm gonna use the Instagram model as I don't know. There's an in between too, but sexually, are men more attracted to the Christian women or other women?
Both is both
Equal?
because, but the Instagram model is just like okay, that's something to like look at, right? But then
Mhm.
the woman of faith is just like it's like almost like a challenge to them. It's like like you know, so then they become enamored with it. They become attracted to it, you know. And people might say, "Oh no, that's not true." Men are not going to necessarily want to talk about this subject, but it's like I will. And it's
Mhm.
not necessarily I be feeling all these type of ways. I just know how men think, and I know how situations are. And a man inside his right mind's not gonna come out and say these things like online. You know, they're
Mhm.
just not
Mhm.
going to. But it's both. Like a woman is a woman
Mhm.
to some men. But you
Right.
know, me, I'm just like if you're a creature of the night and your
Mhm.
morals, you all.
Preacher.
Yeah, I know a creature when I see one, and it's not even about looks. I call a creature because of their ways, their morals, habits, all that stuff. That's what makes somebody a creature to me. But we ain't gonna get into all that. But anyways,
And so when it comes to women of faith going after men who they know don't want to, hey Shamika, thanks for coming in, happy Thursday. um when it comes to them going after, okay, so now I see another thing. I didn't feel prepared, so I was going to postpone this live, but now I'm thinking like you're thinking, like to me, I thought, okay, a woman of faith who's going after somebody who doesn't believe in God. Maybe he's like the bad boy, or he's like the, you know, I don't know.
and the reason why women do that, and I'm gonna tell you why women do that.
Okay,
And who like you can't tell me what a woman. The reason why women of faith or who are into
hey Tina
God.
Bina, hey Tina Bina, thank you.
Hey Tina. What's going on, Shamika? Hey, everybody. The reason why women sometimes choose men who are not really of the faith or submit to God,
Hmm.
it all boils down to instinctual. It's instinctual.
Hmm.
So let's say that you've seen, like, I'm just going to use me as an example, right?
Okay.
Like, or like SBK or something. Like, let's say that you
Okay.
seen me, like y'all women up here seeing me and like SBK inside of a forest, right? And
Hmm.
then and we're on one side, and then on the other side, y'all see Creflo Dollar and what's that guy Stomp? What's his name? The guy who made the song Stomp, the little short Kurt
Kurt
Franklin.
Franklin
I'm definitely running away from you.
Now let's
and
say
Cref-
that
and Creflo Dollar. I'm running away from Creflo Dollar for show.
Okay.
okay, let's just say that we don't know what they did, right?
Uh-huh.
And but they're presenting themselves as like men of God, right? And they're in the forest, they got on
Right.
suits, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a
True.
man of God." Now
Right.
let's just say that me and SBK, we're like on another side.
Hmm.
Now those guys is just, we got to do this, you got to pray. But me and SBK, we're pulling bark down, we're chopping wood,
Right.
we're taking off our shirts, hanging it between the trees so we can catch water, and then we're getting coal and sand so we could be able to dilute the water so that it can be clean for y'all. And then it's just like we're tying up like soft twigs so that we can be able to make a fort for the night for us to survive for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to choose? The man that says I'm a man of God, or the man that you're seeing doing certain things? It's like, okay, they got broad shoulders. This man's kind of tall. Like, who are you going to choose?
They could be ravenous wolves in sheep clothing. I'm going to the person that's gonna provide.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because in Proverbs, not only does they talk about the woman, they talk about the man too. He has just because you in a suit and tie don't mean that you are saved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And for women too, just because you wear a skirt down to your ankles and a blouse and you don't see no
Don't mean you ain't a freak.
Yeah, don't mean you ain't a
Yeah,
freak.
and then and my thing is, what's wrong with being a church lady and being a freak? Just long as you ain't out there.
Amanda, I like that you said that, because for me, Amanda, I like dressing up. Like, I like dressing up. I like the glam. I'm very vain. I like the whole thing. And I want a man that appreciates that. I also want a man that dresses nice or whatever is sexy. Like, I want my husband to be sexy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Me be sexy to him.
It's fine.
Like, I can still praise the Lord, but I'm gonna look good doing it. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna be having my cheeks clapping in church or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like, it's nothing wrong with being saved and being a freak. You get what I'm saying? Long as you doing it behind closed doors.
No, that's a good.
And you a freak for your husband.
That's right. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying going out there, and just sliding on everything you see.
Right.
I'm talking about, like, it's okay to be a freak. Freaking church ladies can go on the same city.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm married, like, I'm being freak for my man.
That's right.
For sure.
There's nothing wrong with that. And people get it twisted. They're like, oh, this is this, and you can't do this and that. It's like, you can with your husband. Like, once y'all two become one, it's just like you do what you do. I mean, certain stuff I wouldn't do.
Real speak on it.
What wouldn't you do?
Bro, I'm not doing that, oh, she's on her period and if I got to do up her butt or something like that, that's just, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, you asked me, I'm just being honest.
Okay,
but some people,
that. You're appreciated. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I have to say this stuff because so now y'all can understand. See, like, sometimes for y'all to understand, man, you gotta think like a man. Like, that's what you gotta do. Or if you understand a woman, think like a woman. Like, don't be naive. I don't want y'all being naive now to certain things. Like, oh, and I want this in a man. The way that a man of God is being taught isn't the true man of God. Like, the way that society presents it is like.
Can I just say, a bro talk about some lady in the streets and a freak in the bed.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It even says it inside about woman, present your supple breast to the man, and I read all that stuff.
We're gonna have to do we're gonna have to do the Bible study on the Songs of Solomon.
Yeah,
because the Songs of Solomon is very sexual and sensual. It is, and it talks about everything, and being as a minister, I mean, I've had women ask me some crazy questions about sex and stuff of that nature, like
what?
Like, is it okay, as a saved woman to have oral sex?
Sweetie.
There's really no answer to that because that's not in the scriptures to say you can do it or not do it. So that's a question I can't answer.
But it does say, Real, that the marriage bed is what?
Undefiled.
Yeah, undefiled.
Undefiled.
Okay, wait a minute. The marriage bed is undefiled. So what does that have to do with oral?
Well, undefiled means like, doing it to your woman while she's on her period. Like, that's a form of the defilement, or, like women lying with women.
We didn't be doing none of that.
Huh?
What do you say?
We ain't doing none of that now.
Oh my.
Well,
Yeah,
no, I'm
We're
speaking
not doing that.
scripturally because yes, it says when you do that, you're considered unclean and you're supposed to stay
Yeah,
away
we
from
not
that.
doing none of that.
But wait a minute, you can't do oral though. Does it say anything about doing oral?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
It
But
doesn't say what.
you can or cannot do oral because we don't know what defile means. But I was giving an example of what defile the bed meant, and I
Mhm.
gave an example like defile the bed is just like uncovering your mother or your father. That's a form of defilement. Doing it while a
Okay.
woman is unclean on her period, a form
Uh-huh.
of defilement. Like I'm giving those examples.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
but what they got to do with
That man and woman
oral sex?
agreement of because
I
if
mean,
you, like, I really want to do. We're gonna have to do the Songs of Solomon because although it's very like what's the word I want to use?
I think the foul is using toys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, y'all have to
Because
look
you
at this,
can't.
right?
Because you can bring on you
Or
can
pornography.
marry a spirit or
Or
pornography. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You can you can have a spouse that is a demon. You get what I'm saying? I
Right.
think that is like
Yeah,
defile or masturbation or something like that. You get what I'm saying?
Bro,
I
I
think
mean, me,
bringing.
I don't do none of that. Like, I don't look at. I think when I was younger, but now I will not. Look at porn. I don't masturbate. I don't do none of that stuff. I just don't. I
Okay,
mean,
I'm
if
gonna read. Oh, go ahead.
Are you celibate, real?
I won't say celibate, but I'm just saying I won't do that stuff because I know who.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, I'm not getting no, but I'm not going against God with the things I do. I'm not
Okay,
saying that.
so you married?
Huh?
Are you married?
Okay. Look.
No, don't you come up here and interrupt. I'm asking a question, man. Are you married, real?
Real, you don't
Okay,
have to
any
answer that.
personal life,
Real,
please.
real, you
Is
don't
you
have to
married,
answer that.
real?
I'm your lawyer,
Is you
real.
married?
You don't have
Is
to
you
answer
married, real?
anything you don't want to
Vaughn
answer.
just stepped up here.
Hey,
Vaughn just
Triple.
stepped up. My lawyer has stepped up.
No.
That's right. Any
Objection.
questions you have, you can ask his lawyer. And right now, he ain't got to answer nothing. Okay. What he
No,
do in
is
his
you
bedroom
married,
and
real?
who he do it with is between him
Is
and
Y'all.
you
God.
married,
No,
real?
listen, y'all. Real talks about his life on his channel. I want Real. Real is very like he's a very otherworldly person to me. I think he's got a lot to say. I listen to stuff that he doesn't say when he's talking. And I feel like he should really. I mean, he's here, and you can ask the questions. But there's some things I wish that he would just do on his channel. But anyways, you go ahead
I'll
and ask
answer
the
stuff like that
question.
on my channel. I'll answer stuff. But real quick, I just want to say this, right? We have to realize too, like, with the oral thing, some people might be subjected to have to do an oral because when I was in school, when I was in college, I learned a lot of things when I was taking up because I was going to become a nurse or a doctor, an LPN, right?
Mhm.
And when I was studying my A&P, anatomy and physiology, and 1 and 2, and my sociology and all that stuff, and doing all this on hands work, before I didn't pass that state test, I saw so many different things, right? And there's people called eunuchs.
Yeah.
And these are usually men or women that born without penises. So if they are a man of God and get with a woman, you'll
Not
be
all
smart.
of them. Some of them it's a choice to be a eunuch.
Yeah.
They make
So
They castrate. They can't
they
castrate.
castrate themselves. But
Yeah.
how are they supposed to please their woman if they're born that way and they want to, like we got to think about like that, like stuff like that.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And people because that's not discussed inside the scriptures. There's so many different things that people are not discussed. Like, say for instance, or like like I have a family member, that's both.
Yeah.
That's not discussed inside the Bible whatsoever. So nobody's gonna know what to do in a sense like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, it's just like, well, a lot of these things that we think we know, we don't know. And we're like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Okay, well, what about a sense like that? Or what about a sense like this? Or what if somebody's born and like, you know, what if their mother's a crackhead and then they chewed off their son's, you know what, right? And now they have to push it into be this or that. Like I know all these things, but nobody wants to talk about these. You can't fault that person for that as they grow up and be like, you can't do this just out of God. It's just like, there's so many different perspectives, y'all. But go ahead.
So now I'm thinking like
defiled means. I want to break down what defiled means.
Okay.
If that's okay with
you. That's fine for sure.
We know that defiled, you know, in a general sense, it means, you know, made unclean or made unholy or impure, either physically, morally, or spiritually, and in a way that separates a person, you know, or a thing from, you know, God's holiness. You understand what I'm saying? So it can be ceremonially unclean, you know, like touching something that's dead, because, you know, you're not supposed, you know, when God was giving down the laws and a lot of stuff, you're not supposed to touch dead stuff, eat stuff, and all that type of stuff, you know, eat forbidden foods, that's considered ceremonially unclean. You got the morally impure, you know, like idolatry or sexual immorality, wicked behavior. You got the spiritually, you know, corrupt folks, you know, that type of stuff. But, you know, just if we wanted to simplify the definition of defiled, it just made unclean or corrupt in a way that disrupts your fellowship with God.
Okay. I always thought it was like a man like cheating, like bringing another woman to his bed.
No, it's like, you know, and if you think about sexual immorality, you think about it's sex outside of marriage.
And sex out of marriage,
sexual immorality. Sexual
can't handle the truth.
Is
it's sex outside of marriage, premarital sex, man.
I know that, but it's also
I know what the other one you're gonna say.
Pedophilia.
Pedophilia.
Keep that. Yeah,
bestiality.
Or bestiality.
There we go.
There we go.
Real.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
It's also I said sex outside of marriage. It's adultery, sex with someone who is not your spouse. Okay, it's fornication, and you know what that is. We know what fornication is. It's sex with two people that's not married or whatever. Prostitution. You got incest, and I hate to say it, but it does say homosexual acts. You know. And it's just a lot of things, but it doesn't say, you know, oral sex is anything you do in that marriage bed between two married people. You understand what I'm saying? It's vile, and that in the sense of where I was talking about oral sex, and we are gonna really have to. Maybe me, I'll see if Amanda and Vaughn. Maybe real. You ain't heard what I was gonna say.
I already know what you're gonna say.
What I'm gonna say? What am I saying?
We should have what you say, the Songs of Solomon. Look, this is what I got to say. Y'all ain't got to wonder what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about any of this. Okay, if you doing any of these things or you ever done any of these things, you know, allow God to convict you, because I believe He will meet you where you at. Okay, and I also believe that no matter how many times you read the Bible, okay, for yourself or somebody else read it to you, some things in your heart or that is that you struggle with will not change until you allow God to change you. Okay. So
I'm trying to say facts of Brill, facts Janice, no backdoor. Go ahead.
What nobody said.
You know what, y'all, Janice and Abril in the chat talking about some no backdoor.
None.
You know, some folks might like it. Okay, all right. I'm not one of them. All right, but I don't judge those who do. I'm just being funny. But you know, that's all I really wanted to say. You know.
But I wanted to like kind of bring it back, because we're all proving that women of faith are freaks. We're all proving that. But I wanted to bring it back to, why do you think women of faith go after men who they know are not going to submit to God?
I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right back.
Because they wanna change I think it's just the same thing with women and men in general. So
Hmm.
I'm really not the best person to ask this stuff to
No,
because
no, but
I'm
but you
just,
have a point of view. Go
but
ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
think it's just huh, wanting to change, thinking that you have the ability to change a person versus accepting a person for who they are. Okay, and
Hmm.
then you also have to remember, um, I'm just gonna throw this in there.
Hmm.
Women of faith. Okay, is this just
Hmm.
a title, or do these women actually have faith? Because there's a
That's
difference.
what I'm
You know what I'm
saying.
saying?
There, like when it comes to faith, there's like you could be in different places in your
Right.
walk. You can be in different places in your walk, and at some places you're going to be
Right.
weak. At some places you're going to be weak sometimes, but not. Then you get good, and then there's some places where it's like no nonsense, you know.
Well,
And
well.
I also feel like even though I grew up my parents were very strict, very conservative, and I think that was good for preserving us, especially when we got older. Because, honey, um, I just feel sometimes that when you grow up in church, you always see the brothers. You always see how they are. You already know how they are. You can marry somebody in church, but it's just like sometimes it's like you're having fun. Like the man that's not submitting to God, you're not really like gonna marry him because he doesn't submit to God. And if he doesn't submit to God, you're not gonna submit to him. It's all natural. It all falls in
Mhm.
line. But I feel like that there's a point where they get excited, like, oh, here's something new I've never done in my life, and this person
Mm.
is this. I feel like I need some excitement in my life. I'm a deal with this guy. Whatever comes of it. And I don't think that they have the intention of marrying this person. I feel like they have the intention of just like messing around with that person. Just the same way as like when a girl you tell a girl, oh, I want you to meet somebody. And then they're like, oh, they're a church guy or whatever. Somewhere like deep down, sometimes it's like, oh no, I don't want to meet that person. Because you don't know like how you don't know I don't know you don't know just like how sometimes you feel like they're going to be like way too like godly, like
I can
it,
agree with
uh,
that.
something that's not even human anymore. And it's just when I say not human anymore, but just some men like they really go overboard. But I can see like the whole like, okay, I'm going to get with this guy. He's not submitting to the Lord, and I'm going to get him to submit the Lord with peace, with patience, with not keeping my legs closed. Because once you open your legs, then some things are just you can't really, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like he ain't gonna be thinking about that anymore. He's just gonna be thinking about but I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't know. What were you gonna say, Vaughn?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, Senna.
Hmm.
I, I I don't know what to say other than I think some women just have a type,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you might feel like church guys are cheesy or corny. Miss Tina say women don't respect men in church. Me personally,
Hmm.
I kind of got some issues. What's
Hmm.
funny because my husband told me he liked me because I wasn't in church. And
Hmm.
I mean, we're older now, so I
Right.
don't think it's like a big of a deal that I
Hmm.
decide to attend church. But I know at that time he expressed that women in church were like he didn't really say boring, but he was like they like I'm not gonna use the word that he used because
No,
I think
use
it's
the
a little.
words that he said because
He was just kind
I
of saying
I
that they
understand.
were a little um churchy and uptight. But I'm gonna be honest with
Hmm.
y'all. I think he just wanted to do it.
Right, right, right.
Like if I have to think of like, well, what was the problem? You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
the type of church that he went to at the time, they were like against stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I'll just be honest and say, I at one point I wanted to wait till I got married, and at some point I just stopped caring about it. So um I guess he was okay with that, and he really didn't want a woman who wasn't willing to give him any. I don't know. Like that's all I can really
Hmm.
think of, because
But y'all were really young, right? When
I
you
mean,
first got together.
I was 19 and
Uh-huh.
he was 21. So
Hmm.
like he drank, he was young. He went to church on Sundays, but he hung out and he liked to have fun. So he wasn't like super into the church. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm. I do.
Like he didn't really, like I'm not I'll just say he was just going to church with his
He
family.
was going through the motions. He was going through the
Right.
motions,
So
which a lot of people do, by the way. A lot of people do
right,
that, by the
right.
way. Yeah.
And I will say there was a couple of, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Sure. Thank you, Abril. Thank you for dropping people's channels too. Tina is driving. She says, "Forgive me, I'm driving. Sometimes we can think we know what God has for us, and sometimes we leave people before the process is finished and leave before change occurs. Marriage is hard." Man, I wish Tina was still here, because I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't like that phrase, marriage is hard. Like, everybody says that marriage is hard, marriage is work.
I mean,
I just want the
because
sweetness
honestly,
out of it.
Senna,
Like,
it
where's the
is.
sweet? But the
Be,
sweetness, where does the sweetness come from?
well,
Marriage,
Uh-huh.
can the
marriage.
married person talk real?
Don't do my brother like that. Don't do my
No,
bro
no, no,
like that,
no.
because you've been
Because
talking.
I'm Real's lawyer. Okay, I
Okay,
just
okay,
help
okay.
Real get out of a sticky situation.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I want Real to
No,
be in that
I'm
sticky
just playing.
situation, because I
I'm
need
just
him to
playing. I'm
talk
just playing.
to us.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
All
I was
good.
just playing.
Can't handle the truth. I hope you're healing well, my dear. Go ahead.
I would say marriage is only hard if you live by the ways of this nation that has been set up. So people think marriage is hard because of all the money and this of what you say and what the stipulations have been put for. Because this is what I keep telling people. Each and every person is going to have a different version of what fits their marriage for their perspective. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And it's gonna be like that. And people can say no all they want. They can say, oh, that's not this, that's not scriptural. Well, guess what? A lot of
Mhm.
things people are doing are not scriptural. Like a lot of these jobs, but I don't point that out for women. Like a lot of these jobs women have, it's not permissible, but they still have it anyway. And then certain
Wait.
women
What do you mean
now,
it's not permissible?
okay, like certain things that men do that
Hmm.
men, like, let's say like a woman being inside of authority, being in the like a military branch, and she having a whole lot of authority over a man because she's like a senior drill instructor or something like that. That wouldn't be seen permissible as you
By
controlling a
who?
whole. Well, according to, like, if you look at certain places in like
Hmm.
the world, right, and they go by the ways of old and scriptural, that wouldn't be permissible. Like a woman being in a position of authority, having authority over men, telling them what to do, how to train, how to do this, like, but guess what? There was a woman who did it,
Hmm.
and who was a great warrior queen, and her name was
Um,
Deborah, and she went and fought for Israel against men and won Israel back. And her king husband let her do it.
hmm.
And you know who blessed that? God. He's like, oh, well, this woman is powerful and strong, and she's very devoted to me. And if there is not a man in the land who will step up, is there not? That's in the scriptures.
Right.
No man was found, so she was chosen for it. So that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. A lot of these people now say all this stuff because they hear it in church, but it's just like, I could tell who really reads the scriptures and
Mhm.
studies, and even the old scriptures,
Mhm.
and they just repeating what they hear. Like they're
Mhm.
repeating what they hear. Because if a man is not able in the land, God will choose a woman to step up to that plate. Like
Mhm.
what happened in the 60s and the 70s? Was men stepping up? No. Who gave women rights and all this stuff to step up? people will say a woman's supposed to be quiet and don't listen. Okay, well, if Rosa Parks didn't do that, guess what? We wouldn't have been able to ride in the front of the bus. A woman did that.
Right.
If we wouldn't been able to escape the plantation for people to go up to the north to tell people this problem.
Right.
Harriet Tubman was the one who led these people, and then certain other people were able to go to that pipeline up to the Yankees for them to fight a war to help free the slaves of the South. So it's like people got to stop with this whole, oh, a man ain't supposed to do this, a woman ain't supposed to do this, and marriage and all that stuff. It's like, if a woman is a judge, or if she's like working for the Department of Defense or who knows, head of the FBI, and she's making $100 grand, right? A man could still run the household, but it's just like, what do you do in a sense like that? We're in a different time now where women.
What is the problem with that? Because
I don't see a problem with it, but I know some men do. Some men do. Like, they don't like that. Like, they, and to me, I'm just like, that's the dumbest thing that you could ever say is, oh, well, I'm supposed to make more than my woman. Build, Negro. Like, y'all could build such an empire with that. You know, like, it just doesn't matter what a man makes or a woman makes. It doesn't matter. Work together. Like, that's what a marriage is about. Is it about like this? If you really want something to work, and if that other person really wants something to work, despite whatever things y'all have gone through, fighting and arguing, because nobody really truly knows how to build a marriage when they first get married. It's like, sure. You know, nobody. You learn as you go along. But that's why people sometimes fight and argue in the first few years, and a lot of divorce. And it's just like,
that's
all
true.
These things are stuck to it, and it's sad because I'm going to say something that might ruffle some ruffle some feathers, and you know, hold on to y'all stiff lace front wigs. But
let me clutch my pearls. Let me clutch my pearls.
I've seen a lot of times where people who aren't necessarily of the faith, or they you know, they kind of know of God, but they're not going to church and all this other stuff. I've seen them lead way better lives and have way better morals than people who are so-called in the church and both of God, and then this woman's doing this, and then meanwhile her husband is getting his back blown out and then messing with other women from the church.
That's 100% fact. That's 100% fact. That's 100% fact. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you and my lawyer speak right now.
No, Tina's here.
Oh.
Yeah, Tina's here.
Hey, Tina.
Hello.
Hello, shalom, Tina.
Shalom. I want to speak to the fact that the comment that I made about marriage being hard.
Yeah.
But what I can say is what makes it difficult is the fact that we don't always realize how we're changing and we're growing, and we also have to submit ourselves to one another as they change and they grow too. The hardest part a lot of times is about accepting the fact that your partner is changing and you are too. Everyone goes in with this mindset of, oh, I like the way this looks, and I like the way this feels, and I love it, and we just gonna tiptoe to the tulips. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and it's no tiptoeing through the tulips.
Right.
You know, going in past
There ain't
7
no
years,
tiptoeing.
10 years.
We're not going to we're not tiptoeing through the tulips at no point.
But that's the thing. A lot of people are looking for bliss and fantasy. And it doesn't even matter if you're Christian or not, for people to still desire bliss and fantasy. If you look in scripture, Moses had a wife and he had issues with his children. You have also you have the example of not Moses. Not Moses, who I want to talk about. Who was that? That was Noah, I mean. Noah had had this great feat in life, but at the end of the day, he had these issues with his children. You know, that's got to be hard.
Yeah.
But that hits the home front hard. And sometimes there are different elements in people's lives that can be difficult, that people don't really consider what all they have to navigate in marriage. It could be a
Yeah.
sick parent
Right.
that's
Right.
trouble.
Right. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it came to Abraham
Mhm.
and Sarah, they
Mhm.
had trouble in the land because they thought that
Mhm.
the promise of God, this is something godly. The
Right.
promise of God meant that they was gonna have a kid and all this, that, and the other. But when the everything hit the fan, she was like, "It's been so long. Maybe you should, get my handmaid and go into her."
Right.
That's another element of problem and issue. Now, if
Mhm.
this was today, you need to leave Sarah and go on with the young girl. Or they would have told the young girl, leave Moses. You can't go back over there because Sarah gonna treat you bad.
Mm.
So with every era, every time period, there is
Mhm.
something that's gonna be in society that is going to groom, going to
Uh-huh.
shape, going to affect how you see your spouse and how you treat them.
Hmm.
I agree.
Okay. Go ahead. Or is that it?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I agree with Miss Tina, and I want to know why Miss Tina don't come hit my panel sometime. But this ain't about me. But y'all go ahead.
Cause you be early in the morning, Vaughn.
But I can't handle the truth. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Have a peaceful night.
Yes, good night.
Good night. I want to give somebody else a chance to talk. I'm just gonna take up 40 seconds real quick. Can I read y'all something real quick and let me know y'all thoughts on
Yeah.
this?
Go ahead.
Okay. And if y'all want to follow along, and just let me know your thoughts. Don't know you picking up the Bible and blah blah blah. Shut up. I'm trying to read something. So,
What?
this is First Corinthians
Mhm.
7, 12 through 15. Again, I'm just reading this and I want y'all to, give me your input and thoughts. It says, and this is First Corinthians 7:12.
Mhm.
But to the others, I say, yes, if any brother has an unbelieving wife and she is agreeable to staying with him, let him not leave her. And if a woman
Mhm.
has an unbelieving husband and he is agreeable to staying with her, let her not leave her husband. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified in relation to his wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified in relation to the brother. Otherwise, your children would be unclean, but now they are holy.
Hmm. That's a good one. That's a good verse.
My mother read me that scripture.
That's a good one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would never think about that. I would just think like you're just in a unequally yoked relationship and then it's going to be hard because I've seen it in my church where like the husband and then here's another thing like I don't know, maybe it's just um I don't know, maybe it's just what I see like sometimes I feel like it's always the women who are going to church and getting God and getting, the message that they need for the day and having talks with God. I know men do it too, but it's like I feel like women go to church more than men do.
You're right. You're
And is
correct.
that and I also want to know like do men get jealous of their wives' relationship with God? Or do they like I know if a man put a key, keys to a new car in your hand and you're like, thank you, Jesus. And he's like, wait a minute, Jesus, I did that for you. Like, why you ain't thank me? So what do y'all think about that? Like women going to church more and
I can
then
answer that one.
um and then what was the second thing that I said? Do men get jealous of their wives' relationship with with the Lord?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Expound on that.
after I got saved, y'all,
Mhm.
um, I don't know if I'm telling too much, but long story short, um, I called my mom and I'm like, he's mad because I said I wanted to do this, this, that, and the other.
Mhm.
And she laughed and said, um, because I said, Jim is like, I've been telling you this for years, and now you're gonna do it because you started going to church. And I was like, well, what's wrong
Mhm.
with that? Like, I really didn't see the problem with it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And like, I actually thought he'd be happy, and it wasn't
Yeah.
nothing major, y'all. It was. I'm gonna just say my attitude, right?
Mhm.
So I decided, I don't know, I had a change of heart, and my mom laughed and she said, the problem that he's having it no the problem what he doesn't realize is he may have been telling you something for years and years and years, but only God can change you. And just like I've been telling you, only
Mm.
God can change him.
Right.
So she told me that there's a possibility he may have a change of heart about something that I've been telling him for years and years and years. And
Mhm.
his source may be, oh, well, Too Strong, I heard Too Strong give advice. And nigga, I've been telling you that. But it's like he's finally in a place where he can receive it. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So um, I thought he was tripping. I'm not saying he was
Yeah.
jealous, but that's how I felt. Like, you hating on God? Like, that's how I felt. That's
Right,
really how
right,
y'all
right.
gotta remember, I'm a little childish. I like to be funny, but that's really
No,
how
no,
I
no,
felt.
but that, yeah, you put it, yeah.
It was like, Mom, he tripping. He hating on the Lord. And she was like, she thought it was funny too. She was like, y'all'll be all right.
Yeah,
He has to understand that
right.
your relationship, that you're developing a relationship with God. And honestly, yeah, I really wasn't looking at it like that. I was just talking to him. And when he got upset, like, I've been telling you that for years, but, and I was kind of also looking at, maybe he thinks I'm just listening to the pastor. You know what I'm, because you know how some
Yeah,
women are like, pastor, pastor, pastor. It's
right.
like, no, it wasn't that it was him. It was like the sermon. Like, it's like
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
trying to explain that I have an understanding of
Right.
something. And
Mhm.
instead of him just being like, oh, whatever, he kind of was like, I've been telling you that. And it became something stupid. You know what I'm saying? So
I so
that's what I think. I
so
can't say for
okay.
sure if he was jealous, but that's why I said I think so. I think it can happen. I don't know.
And I don't want to get all in your business, Ron, at all, but I just want to know, you don't have to say anything, but you cultivating your relationship with the Lord and going deeper every day. You got baptized to show, you're not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Um, has that added sweetness to your marriage? You loving on the Lord, do you think that you're more loving towards your kids, more loving towards your husband? Well, let's take the kids out of it. Do you feel like you're like more loving towards your husband? Did it impact your marriage in any way?
Actually, Senna, yes, because I don't know if I told y'all this, but my mother is a teacher, right?
Oh, okay. Bless her.
So, well, not like a school teacher. She's a teacher. She's like Miss Mimi, but she don't have like her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We believe she's the Lord has called her,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
she was the one who, like, taught me all of the, stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
So when I call her for advice now, she doesn't talk to me just as her daughter. She talks to me as a child of God. And she always takes me to scripture of what the wife's responsibilities are, what the
Mhm.
husband's responsibilities are, how
Mhm.
if we mistreat each other or like we're just being stupid, she will take me to scripture. And it has caused me a change of heart
Mhm.
because y'all know I got married young and I really didn't, I just pretty much knew, not to do certain stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I do have a better understanding of what marriage is by
Mhm.
God's understanding and not my own.
Hey,
So
Tracy.
I'll just say yes because
Hey, Webley.
yeah, I'll say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
add something.
Go ahead, Gina.
I can't stay long because I have a live I have to do later
Okay.
on.
Okay.
No, you're
But
staying here with us.
You can't go anywhere, Miss Tina. We're holding you hostage.
See, lock the church doors.
Subscribe to
um
Tina, though, y'all. Subscribe to her. She's very wise. Go ahead. And funny. Go ahead.
oh, thank you. If it's one thing that I consider all the time is women are taught how to be single women.
Hmm.
Women are taught how to maybe allure a man or be attractive to a man
One second.
to become
You,
a bride.
so you don't think that women are raised to be wives?
No, by and
You said
large,
women are
I
no.
know I
raised.
wasn't.
And I'm
Oh,
gonna tell you the reason why I say that
I guess
Correct.
because
is
my
that
household is very, very very, very like my mom is like the homemaker and takes care of the house. My dad was the one who worked, and they had their duties, and my dad did his male duties, my mom did her duties. And for me personally, like like I don't have a problem with that. I don't at all. But go ahead. When you said women were raised to be single, like it kind of knocked the wind out of me a little bit because I was like, what? Okay. I always thought
yes,
women were raised to be wives. Go ahead.
Not
I'm
necessarily.
sorry.
Not necessarily, because
it's
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if it's one thing that I could say
Hmm.
is that the reason why I say women are basically raised to be single because
Hmm.
the idea of marriage they have,
Hmm.
but the functionality of a wife they do not have.
Mm.
Hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because it's your husband
Hmm.
that determines whether or not you're a good wife to him.
Come on, Miss
And
Tina.
if you don't have fathers
Mhm.
Hmm.
who show you
Hmm.
what a wife looks like in their eyes,
Hmm.
you will be led to believe that you're being a good wife to a man and you have not even submitted yourself to him to be his wife.
Hmm.
You may be a good
Woo.
Christian. You may be a good as far as being a single person and knowing how to fast and pray and make
Hmm.
Jesus your everything.
Hmm.
But when you step into marriage arena, you
Right.
then take off your singleness
Right.
and you
Mm.
become married and then you submit to that husband.
Right.
Who your head is now is not Jesus.
Right.
Your head biblically is
Right.
your husband.
Oh
And
yeah.
there are so many women that
Hmm.
are not taught that. Who ends up being their head is the pastor
Yeah.
in some arenas.
Yeah.
Who ends up being, or some leader at the church, even if it's
Hmm.
another woman, they're their
Hmm.
head, but
Right.
not their actual husband.
Right.
And
I agree with that.
because of that, you have
Hmm.
so many people that are
Hmm.
like, I don't understand. My marriage ain't working. I'm doing
Right.
all the things. I'm
Right.
fasting. But did you ask him? Could you
Right.
fast?
Right.
Did
Right.
you ask him? It was
Mm.
okay.
Hmm.
And so it's these things that women have not taught how to submit to the husband's authority and
Like my
trust that
mom, like
God will
she.
lead him as it pertains to them. Because at that point, you're just praying for your husband. You're no
Hmm.
longer just praying for yourself.
Hmm.
Wait. I got a question, Miss Tina. Are you saying ask God to fast or the husband to fast?
The husband, your husband,
Huh?
you ask your husband, is it okay to fast? That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
biblical.
I
if
agree. I
he's the
agree with
head,
that.
according to the scriptures, like if
Mhm.
he's the head, he's
Yeah.
supposed to give direction from
Right.
God and then the
Yeah.
spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
because
agree
your
with that.
ministry is no longer about the things of the Lord. A single woman, yes, her
If he's
mind is the
if he's
mind of things of
submitted
the
to the
Lord. But when it
Lord,
comes to
Vaughn,
marriage, it's different.
Question. I got a question.
I do
Mhm.
too. Actually, go ahead.
I
Go
got
ahead,
a
Amanda.
question. Okay. Not necessarily. I don't believe that's true because it could be the woman that's saved and the husband's not. And
Yeah.
you can't ask
That too.
a man that don't
Yeah.
believe.
That
I
was my
mean, a man
question.
that's
Yeah.
not in Christ cannot
Right.
fast because he don't know the spiritual. He don't know the spirit. So,
Mhm.
if he's being the head, if he's being and he's in his rightful place, yeah, you can
But
ask your husband, yeah, can I fast? But if he's not in his rightful spot, you can't submit to a man when he's not doing what God wants him to be.
but
How
that's
could
not
he do
scriptural.
that?
But that's not scriptural. It's
That
nowhere
I'm
in
not
scripture.
asking a man that's not living for God. I'm not asking him nothing. I'm going to my Father which is in heaven because the Spirit know all things. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask my Father in heaven if He give me the unction to fast. That's what I'm gonna do. Now I might tell my husband, look, we can't do the nasty or none of that because it's that time. I can't fast for some things. I need to fast for him to get saved, but for God to speak to his spirit. But I'm not asking my husband to do nothing.
I'm gonna read the scripture from First Corinthians. Was it First Corinthians 7? That
Oh, I'm gonna
real.
drop down and come back. My husband calling right now. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay,
A
all right.
submissive woman. No, let me stop
Mhm.
playing. Let me stop playing with Amanda.
Right. So he started at 7, and it says right here starting at verse 7 and 14, 1 Corinthians 7 and 14. For the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through the wife, and the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through her believing husband. Otherwise, your children would be unclean, but as it is, they are holy. So, in other words, the husband, if he's not saved, he's sanctified through the wife's faith and vice versa. You see
Which
what I'm saying?
means that
Right.
backs up my point, like I was saying. You know
Okay,
that
both of us sanctify each other, but what you said was we're supposed to ask him to fast, but like that's based on where we are. Say he's not. You understand what I'm saying?
okay,
Does
again,
that make sense?
I understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
However, one of the biggest things that was talked about in scripture that they talk about in church all the time is about being unequally yoked.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where you marry your husband before you get saved.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes, ma'am.
the man marries that wife before she gets saved or whatever, or neither one of y'all are saved
Right.
when you get married.
Right.
Then once somebody finds the Lord,
Right.
if you are a woman with an unbelieving husband, you're
Mm-hmm.
still supposed to submit to your husband, even as a Christian woman. That is scriptural. At the end of
I
the day,
believe that. I
as
believe
much as
that.
we believe that that man needs to know God and he need to be saved and all that, that is not the prerequisite for marriage. Because the marriage is holiness before God. It's holy before God. It's a covenant before God,
Well, that's one of the
whether he
only
has made the
factors. That's
personal
right.
decision to get saved or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to remember that salvation is personal. It's you deciding to submit to God for yourself. But if you're the believing wife, sanctifying your husband means I'm covering him until
Right.
he makes up his mind
Right.
as it pertains to God. On the other hand, it is my duty to do what God called me to do, which is in the marriage to submit to my husband.
Yeah, that's true. I believe that.
but
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 like
I got a
he's not.
question.
Wait a
I'm
minute,
sorry,
Ronnie.
Miss Mimi.
Hold on,
No,
Ronnie.
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's hard. We all know, or most of us should know, that spiritual things are spiritually discerned. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, I'm gonna talk about me right now because I did everything out of order. I got pregnant and then I got married and then I got saved. You understand what I'm saying? And then God called me to ministry, and I had a pastor that always taught me that my first ministry is to my husband, and anything else is out of balance. So I understand where you're coming from, but I would find it hard for myself to seek, spiritual, because he didn't understand at the time. Because when I went and got saved, he's like, well, what you do that for? Because we were still out in the world, we were still partying. You understand what I'm saying? And I think sometimes men, especially black men, they fear what they don't understand, and you got to think it goes back to the historical thing of the historical significance of the Black church. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we go back to slavery days. You know, Black men were nothing, but they could be something in slavery when they put on that suit and they became reverend. You understand what I'm saying? So does that make sense to what you're saying? You know what I'm trying to tie it all together, y'all. I'm trying to connect the dots and sew it up a little bit. But yeah, so I see what you're saying. We are supposed to be submissive to our husband, and I think that's one of the things that I did do. I think living godly and doing what the word will have you do, which is be submissive until he came into the fold. But you know, as far as about fasting, I did not ask him if it's okay to fast when he wasn't yet there yet. But I did submit
I'm so
to
confused,
him.
child.
You understand what I'm saying?
Over here.
But okay, now
Why are you confused?
if you allow me to explain something.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
The thing about submission is that you offer whatever you're doing to your husband for him to make a decision. But when you have a relationship with God, you know that the heart of the king is in his hand.
I'm listening.
You go to God and you ask God to move on your behalf so you could do the things that you need to do concerning God. God knows how to move on your husband.
Yes.
Even if he's unbelieving in your favor, because you have favor with God.
There you go.
There's a way to do it. And even if we've done things out of order, you being willing to submit to God's order, God will move on your behalf.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay, I like that. That sounds like something I can work with.
Yeah. And that's where I was trying to get into. You worded it perfectly. Me being submissive to God first, you know, or submissive to God, and knowing that being obedient to my husband, God is gonna work. That makes sense. So it's gonna work.
Yeah, because God honors it. God is gonna honor it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm with you right there now. But yeah. But we both sanctify each other. I feel, you know, according to that scripture, when he's not believing, he's, you know, when I'm not, say I married a man and I wasn't in church, but through his faith in God, he sanctifies and covers me. And then say vice versa. I like the situation in my marriage. I got saved and my husband wasn't saved, but he was sanctified through me, through my faith in God. But I still submitted. I did still submit, and through that was able. I see. I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. And through my submission to him and to God, it was able to change his. God was able to change his heart. But if I had still been or being a nagging wife, oh, you need to come to church. Oh, you need to do this. And oh, you need to do it. I did all the things that he required of me, and that was required of God. And it wasn't long before he did get saved. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that we be missing as women is that a lot of times God just wants us to be sweet.
Yeah.
And that's the very thing that'll be drawn. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, he obtains favor because he found his good thing in you.
Right.
He obtains favor from the Lord, and he obtains favor with man because of you as a woman.
Yes.
Right.
But if you knucking and bucking and cutting up, you know what I'm saying? You missing your own blessing.
Right, exactly. That's true. That's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah, and
I'm just glad y'all cleared all that up. I really am.
And that does make men sometimes jealous when you always talk, oh, the pastor said. Well, what did God say today? I know what pastor said.
I was just asking, are men jealous of their wives' relationship with God? Like not anybody else, but specifically with God. Are they jealous of that relationship?
If it's out of order, yes.
What do you mean if it's out of order?
Okay,
I guess
it's
if
like
you ain't
this.
coming and asking him if you can fast first, that's what it sounds like to me. I'm
Well, I'm
I'm
gonna tell
stuck
you
on that,
something that
y'all. I'm
women
sorry.
do. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be honest now. Okay,
Let's do it. Let's
buckle
do
up,
it.
Buttercup. 'Cause I'm gonna be
I'm
real.
listening, Miss Tina. I'm listening. She's
A
scaring me,
lot
but
of
I'm listening.
times, women like to withhold themselves as punishment to that husband, and
That's
then blame it
wrong
on God
for
because
her.
you ain't doing what you're supposed to do as a wife.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
Well, but that's the
That's
thing.
I
There
ain't
are a
gonna.
lot of
I am not
men
trouble
that
gonna be
right there.
experience
withholding.
these things with women
I
Yeah,
will not be
yeah.
withholding.
because this is the thing. If the church, let's say, for instance, the church said, we're going to do a 40-day fast. Did you talk to
Hmm.
your husband about that?
Hmm.
Because within that fast, you can't be, doing what you normally do, your regular marriage routine
If you're
during that
fasting,
fast. Hmm?
Wait, huh?
you can't. If you're fasting
No,
No,
you cannot have sex
for
when you
30 days.
fasting.
No,
not
you
But
while you're fasting.
What?
no.
Look
if
in the
I'm
scripture.
mad, I'm gonna boot it over anyway while I'm mad. Cause
Yeah.
I don't care
What?
if I'm mad or not. I'm gonna boot it over because I don't
Yeah.
want my husband to go nowhere and do
Right.
anything else with nobody else. I'm gonna take care of my marriage
Right.
bed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before
Yep.
anything, but no.
Yeah, but that's
My
the
mom
thing, though.
said. My
Everybody
mom
is
said
not
when you
doing
get
that.
your husband in the bedroom, you better kill him. And you know what she means
But
by
that's what I'm
that.
saying, though. When it talks, if you look in scripture, it talks about those things that if you go to fast, of course, you ask your husband, you go on your
Hmm.
fast, and then you make sure you get back with your husband, so the enemy doesn't get in between what you all have.
But 30
But
days.
there is a moment of
I have
pause.
never even heard of this. I promise y'all. I've
It's
never,
in the New
never.
Testament.
I've never even
For
Bria,
thought
where you
about.
real.
at?
No,
Hey Joe.
it's me, Vaughn. But no, I've never even thought of that, y'all. Like for real, it never even crossed my
Yeah,
mind
I never
to be
thought that. I
like,
never thought about that either.
okay, let me ask you a question, Miss Tina, because I just need a little more clarity. Okay, so you saying, okay, because here I am thinking, okay, so are you saying that because I'm married, right? And I decided to go get baptized, that I even should have asked my husband to go get saved? Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not about
I'm trying because
salvation.
I'm trying to understand the
No,
severity of asking your husband before you do stuff. I'm trying to understand for real.
hold on. Now I can tell you this: if your husband tell you let's stay at home instead of going to church on Sunday morning, you submit to your husband.
What?
This stuff is not. That's why I say women are taught how to be single, but they're not taught how to be married. These are things that are in scripture that
Hmm.
you have to submit to your husband because he becomes your covering, not the Lord, your husband. You got married. You're in a covenant with this man before God,
That makes a
who
lot of
is
sense.
his head is
That
God.
makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. That
But to
that
the
is
man who's ascended to God, though, like it, to
that's
that
an
guy
eye opener.
who's
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. How things have gone with different people, and I understand now. That makes a lot of sense.
that's
I
what I've been
think
trying to
people
explain
make
to
it,
people. Everything's been so discombobulated.
I wanted to piggyback on what Miss Tina said. She was talking about women are taught to be single. Well, in the black homes, a lot of wives are not wives, well, not wives. A lot of women are single mothers, and we teach our daughters, look, you don't need no man, da 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 da. You got to get out here,
Thank you.
be independent, and do it yourself, and da 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 da. And
I
then
think that's the dumbest thing that you could ever
it
say.
is very dumb, but that's what happens. And then
Yeah.
when a young woman wants to get married, they
So,
haven't seen what a healthy marriage is. They don't know
right.
what marriage is,
Exactly.
and they are taught.
Nor
Oh,
do they respect it.
and a
Nor
lot
do
of
they
women,
respect it,
that's
and
why,
nor will they let a man be their head.
right, and that's why they go into marriages thinking that, oh, okay, if it's not work out, I can get a divorce. That's not so. You know what I
Right. Right.
mean? No,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
it,
whoa! I'm having an anxiety attack up here. I'm sorry,
No, we
y'all.
ain't having no anxiety attack, Ron. We ain't having
No,
no anxiety attack.
because
None. Not
this
one.
So look, listen. I just gotta keep it honest, okay, y'all. I've been married 7 years, okay,
Go ahead.
11 together, and y'all know I got issues, okay. He know I got issues, okay, and
Come on, Vaughn.
this Miss
No anxiety
Tina
attacks.
is giving me anxiety with
About
me
what?
because what? Like
Because what
if
Miss Tina is
even
saying, I feel
no
like
no
will bring
no
sweetness into the marriage. That's how I feel.
how if
Because you're submitting to
even
your husband.
Selena Johnson said, "Come Sunday morning, you play sick in bed. You don't stop nobody from going to church, not even your
You
wife or
have
your husband."
wait a minute. Now, you come on, Vaughn. It's been some times when you were like, "Oh, I don't want to go to church. I want to do this or whatever." But if
Right?
your husband is your covering and he is your
Mm-hmm.
head, if he says we're not going to church, y'all ain't going to church. And
Who?
if you continue like Tina says to nuck and buck, that the
Mm-hmm.
sweetness is going to go away. Your husband said
But
we're not going
Cena,
to church. You don't know why. He might explain it
right?
to you. The Lord might have told him, and now there's a
Mm-hmm.
sweetness there. I understand. I
Okay,
understand what Tina's saying. That I found that to
I
be very
understand,
eye opening.
you know, I understand, babe, we shouldn't go to church today. I got a bad feeling. I understand that. Okay, and then something bad happened at the church, right?
Or it may
I can
not be a
understand
bad
that.
feeling. It could have just came from God, and God may not have explained it yet, but
Lord.
he obeyed God, and now
Mm-hmm.
you have to obey Him.
I'm
That
really gonna
you
pray
got
about
to,
this. Like, cause
you got to.
oof.
Real,
Okay.
you can go to church, but girl, your man said no.
I'm probably gonna
That's
go
your
out to
head.
church and say I'll be back, baby.
What
I
do you
feel like
say?
if I don't go to I'm gonna just say this. Y'all remember 2 weeks ago when I was just
Amanda is
acting
quiet.
crazy?
Amanda is super
Cena,
quiet.
cause I know Amanda gonna listen to her man. I know Amanda. Amanda gonna
No, I
submit
don't book
to
my
her.
husband, and my husband would never tell me not to go to church because he know that I serve God for real.
but
And he'll
but
never
Amanda.
ask me, don't go to church. But if we like go out of
Mm-hmm.
town or something like that, I'm not rushing back to get to church. You get what I'm saying? Because I already
Mm,
understood when we left. I'm not going to church. You get what I'm saying? But I'm
but
not
if he
nothing
asks
and
you,
bucking my
but
husband.
but but if he
No,
asks you not
I
to, would you?
understand what Tina said. What do
Huh?
you say?
If
If
he
he
asks me
asks
not
you
to go to
not to,
church,
would
I'm
you?
not going.
I see what I just say. I know Amanda. Okay,
Mhm.
so what I want to know is I don't want to know anything. I'm having a hard time with this conversation. I'm just gonna listen. I'm having a real hard time over
Go
here.
ahead. Go ahead. Talk, Vaughn. Talk.
It just sounds weird because
No,
you know,
Abril, he's not playing with you. She's not saying she's Abril. She's not saying don't go to church, like don't go to church forever. He might just say that one Sunday, and you have to be,
right?
you know.
And again, if he says
Okay,
don't go to church forever, you still take it to God. You don't become the wife that just starts stomping around and kicking the door because you can't go to church and you ain't been in a month. If you
No, we go.
really are
It
who
can't be a
God
month.
called you to be as a wife, and
I
this is
can't not
your
go to church
husband
in a
that
whole
he
month.
has chosen for your life, then you go to God about the husband that God made as your covering.
Okay, so why
okay,
do we
wait,
say in the word don't forsake to assemble?
wait, Amanda, hold on. I got something for Miss Tina. So Miss Tina, what you're saying, I think hold on, wait. I really do think I get it. Are you saying, Miss Tina, if my husband tells me to do something, or I go to my husband and I say, honey, can I fast? And he say no. And let's say somewhere while he doing whatever he doing, the Lord comes and convicts him. I don't know, bump his big toe, and
Mm-hmm.
then he come back to me and say, I was wrong, or I shouldn't have told you that you shouldn't fast. You should do what pleases God, or
Mm-hmm.
you should do what's right by God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And is that what is that what you
That's
saying?
exactly what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
can okay, I can deal with that. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why you caught me off guard. My mother told me that, but she didn't say it how you said it, right? With the, go ask, the fast and stuff, because I really got a problem with that go ask part.
Okay, well
But
check this out. Let me fix it
I
for you.
understand what you're saying.
Let me fix it for you though.
Okay, I'm listening.
You, as him being your husband, you care about what he cares about.
Yeah.
So you're going to discuss with him, hey, I feel led to do such and so and so. Do you mind if I take this time out, or do you have another time? Do you think that it would be better for me to do this because I really want to do this before God? It's a way to submit it to him where
For
he
sure.
ain't gonna be like, no, get over there in the corner. You know what I'm saying? And even if he does respond in that fashion, what I'm saying is you as the believer have power with God.
Yes.
Take it to God and let him deal with that man that is head over your life.
Right.
So you think
You right.
Because I'm like, everybody act like God can't move a man or can't
yeah,
touch
he
his
can
heart.
move a man, but what if it's urgency and God telling me to fast and I'm going against what God telling me because my husband told me no.
Why would God tell you to do something against his own word? That's something you
I'm
have
not.
to hold on.
I'm
This is the
saying
thing.
if
God
God
is
giving
not a
me the
God of
urgency to
confusion.
fast, and
Wait a
I
minute.
go to my husband, I'm doing what you say do. Go to my husband, and my husband says no, and he's standing on that. My husband not saved or nothing.
God
And
is
he's
holy.
standing.
He's not going to tell you to do something that goes against his own word.
Right.
God is still going to tell you to do the things that's going to honor him. That's just like if God tell you to go rob the bank. God ain't going to tell you to rob the bank. If something is telling you to do something that's
That ain't
outside of the
God.
will of God,
That's
that's
not God.
outside of the will of
I'm not
God.
saying that. I'm saying, did you understand what I was saying? I said, if God is giving me the urgency to fast, and I go ask my husband, and he say no, and he stands on what he's saying no, but God's telling me to do a thing, and I go follow what my husband say do instead of God.
And I'm
No,
gonna
what
say
you
this
saying?
again. I'm gonna say this again.
I'm gonna say
If God is giving you an urgency about something, it could be just the urgency to have the conversation. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to tell you to do something that goes against his word. We have to still take into consideration that God is sovereign. Yes, he will have you to do some things that you feel like you should not do. However, when it comes to God and his word, he's not the author of confusion. If he got to, he could take your husband away somewhere where you could fast. But that's God doing it, not you doing it.
And I want to ride on what Tina says too. Like now, let's say that you're not a married woman, but you see how Tina and like a lot of y'all are very spiritually inclined and are close to like God. Now that woman does, from what I saw scripturally, have a right to, if she is closer to God, if she's closer to God, that has a way more, understanding than God than a man who just comes in. This is why I do listen to y'all when y'all say these things, because I read the scripture and I know like spiritually what is right. You can listen to what a woman says about God, because if you go to Acts 18:26, and I want y'all to read along with me, it says, and when he began to speak boldly in the synagogue to the people, but Priscilla and Aquila, having heard him, took him aside or to their house and explained to him the way of God more accurately. And that was a woman to a man. Y'all can read this for yourselves. It's Acts 18:26.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
Priscilla
saying,
and Aquila was a married couple. That means that woman had a covering when she went in to that man,
no, don't say that.
and he was
Nowhere.
brought into that household.
I,
That's why
I,
it's an order, y'all. It's an order.
No,
Whether
I
we
hear what
agree
you're
with it or
saying.
not, there is
No.
order,
I
even
hear
when
it.
it comes to the word of God, even when it comes to if we're gonna be the ones to teach someone something, God knows how to bring that person into your space. God knows how to touch that person's heart to hear what you have to say, even if that means they go to ask a question. Like with who was that took Vashti's place with the king? And she could put everybody on a fast. Esther. Yeah, Esther. Esther knew to pray and ask for God's favor And she
Mhm.
put everybody on the fast, threw a party for all 3 of them days, just for this man's heart to open up and say, you can have whatever you want.
To find favor, yeah.
And you see what I'm saying? God will
Mhm.
give you
But
favor
God
with
gave
somebody.
her the wisdom, and she did what
Exactly.
God told her to do.
But
That's
she
Mhm.
why
did.
I say I'm not. I just don't understand. I'm not. I
I'm gonna
agree
say
with
this.
you.
Let me see if I can help you too strong. What she's saying is,
Mm-mm.
listen, God, we know that God is not the author of confusion. We do know that. And we know
Yeah.
that obedience, listen, obedience is better than what?
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Okay. All right. So
But
what
no,
she
no,
said,
no.
y'all not Vaughn, you're not
Go
letting
ahead.
me.
Go. I'm sorry.
What Miss Tina is saying, it is biblically right. And sometimes y'all, I think we as women, we do find it hard to submit, But she's saying,
Mm-mm.
listen what I'm saying. She's saying,
Mm-mm.
she like, she's saying,
No, what I'm
that,
saying is a
listen,
sanctified wife sanctify the husband,
I
and a
just said
sanctified
that.
husband
I,
sanctify the wife. If I'm the stronger vessel that's in the Lord and God is using me, what do I can't listen to my husband until he comes of the faith. Especially when he's not receiving what God is saying. That's what I'm not understanding. You
Well,
know what I'm
Amanda,
saying? If I'm the stronger vessel,
mm-hmm,
I'm not
right.
listening to what my husband say because he's not gonna tell me thus saith the Lord. You get what
But
I'm
that's
saying?
Right.
Until I keep
I
praying
agree with you.
and
Uh-huh.
fasting until for God to change his heart and his mind to serve him, then I'm gonna still submit to him. But
Mm-hmm.
if it ain't right, no ma'am.
No,
but that but
No
listen.
what do you
ma'am.
have biblically to back that up is what my question is, because we're
she
still
didn't
talking
let
about
me
women
finish.
who we're still talking about women who desire to follow scripture as it pertains to their husbands. Because I can understand if you say it based on this scripture, I'm not doing this and this and this. I'm giving you the scriptural details about how a woman should be as it pertains to her husband, even if he's not married. I
I
mean, not
still
married,
treat my
even if he's
husband
not saved.
well. I
But
still
but
treat my husband well. Just like if I'm saved and my husband telling me, okay, you telling me to submit to my husband. Well, come on, baby, let's drink and smoke weed. I got to
that's not
submit to what my husband. That's what
no,
I'm saying. Submit to what
no,
my husband doing. But if
No,
God
God
give
isn't
no,
me the,
gonna tell you
no.
to
God
do
ain't gonna
something that
tell
I'm
you
goes
to do
not
against his,
that.
saying that
yeah,
God told
his
me that.
own
I'm
word.
saying my husband.
he's
May
I'm
I
not.
not
please
He's
ask
saying
y'all
God
one
told
quick
me
question?
anything.
he's not
You're
going to
not
tell
That's
your
what
listening
she's
to
husband.
what I'm
saying.
saying.
Go
She's
ahead,
Uh,
saying
Hard.
submit to my husband. Whatever my husband want me to do. If my husband not telling me
it's
right,
not a
I'm not
whatever.
submitting
It's
to
a
that.
way. It's a way to submit. There is a way to
I'm not
submit
submitting to
that
that.
does not
But if my
necessarily
husband
mean
telling me the right thing to do, I'm going to submit to what he's saying.
we
Not
have to
right
define
now.
what submission is first.
My
Okay, what
husband,
define? Define it.
no.
We have to.
I can't. I don't
Sub means
understand
under.
that.
Sub means under. There's no other way to put submission. It means you're
Wait,
under
but there's also
under.
a submit meaning to inquire, to
Yeah.
ask.
Well, yeah.
You see what
Well,
I'm saying?
yeah.
If you're bringing your thoughts to your husband and saying, "Hey, I have an idea to do such and such," and you bring it before him, that is submission. Everybody think that submission is automatically I just do what he say. No, that's just obedience. I
Yeah.
didn't
Right.
say obedience. I said
Right.
submission.
Right.
It's a difference.
And I was trying to
Miss
bring
T,
it
Miss
back
T,
down to.
wait, Miss Mimi.
I'm about to stop. I ain't gonna. Let's let me get this out, please.
Oh, hold on,
Please let me get this
wait.
out.
Okay.
Let's let me get.
I feel like
I'm
Too
trying to
Strong
bring it
not
home.
understanding.
I'm
Listen,
trying to bring it home
Amanda,
to Amanda.
I get
I
exactly
was,
where you coming from. But what Miss Tina is saying is, so you said if your husband come to you and be like, let's drink and smoke, and you say, I'm not gonna do that because that go against God. And let's say he mistreats you and try to, do wrong by you because you won't listen to his BS. As long as you are submitting to God, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing right how God told you to do, your husband is going to be held accountable for how he treats you and how he's not listening to God. Do you understand? You understand that?
I understand that part, but I'm not. Oh man.
You still don't understand?
No, she understands. She understands. She
But
understands.
I'm not inquiring for no man
Oh,
that's not
the ass
saved.
part. The ass part.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
asking
Okay.
him anything
But
that got
again,
to do with me and my God's relationship. I'm not until God deals with his heart. I'm not
then
asking
the
him.
question is not
It's
about the
not in his
man.
heart to tell me what's right because he's not saved.
The
But you
question is
man,
not with
but okay,
about the
and you
man.
know what?
It's
No.
That goes
about the
back to the
person.
title of my live. Why do women of faith go for men who don't submit to God? So now
My
you're
thing
in a
is, when
marriage.
we first walked this thing out, when me and my husband, I got
Yeah.
saved. My husband didn't. Do you
Uh-huh.
understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when I'm trying to get my husband saved, but
Absolutely.
I'm not going to inquire. He don't come in between the relationship that that I have with God. You get what I'm saying? I don't have to go to my husband and ask him, is it okay to fast? I don't have to do that. You get what I'm saying? Because what's
I have a
understood
question.
don't need to be explained. And
I
it's
have a
not that
question.
I think I over trump him, but
Mm-hmm.
until God puts him into his rightful place,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't listening. I'm doing what thus said the Lord.
I have a
And
scripture on that, which helps y'all out. It's only in accordance to when that man he has to treat you in a certain way within reason. Because if you go to First Peter 3:7, it says, "You husbands, in the same way, live with your wives in an understanding way, as with someone weaker, since she is a woman, and show her honor as a fellow heir of the grace of life, so that your prayers will not be hindered."
But yeah, you're reading the scripture, but if a man's not into that, he's not going to read that scripture and how
But
to take care of his wife.
Yeah, the husband
yeah, and
the
that's on him.
wife, love your wife as
It's
Christ.
on me too if I'm married.
I have a question.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Does that mean that the husband don't respect you at all?
oh,
Because I'm like, we
my
are
husband
married to
respects me.
no, and I'm asking that because if he actually loves you, because he don't have to know Jesus to love you.
Yeah, that's true.
He don't have to know Jesus to respect and honor what you
Mm-hmm.
ask of him. He
Mm-hmm.
just can respect you as a
Mm-hmm.
person.
Yeah.
If he's abusive to you, don't listen to nothing you say, and want to clock you upside your head, that's a completely different
Oh no,
situation.
I don't got them problems.
No, but that's my point. If you're with a man who honors and respects you as a person, if nothing
Mm-hmm.
else,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to him and say, "Hey, babe, I'm thinking about fasting for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna be cool if I, not eat with you and not go out to eat on Wednesday through Friday? Whatever. I got you Saturday, but I just need these 3 days. Is there something wrong with going to the man that respects you and honors you, even though he don't know Jesus,
I think
and
that's
submit
cool.
things like that to him, and that way still honor God and still be able to do the things of God. Or he say, instead of Wednesday through Friday, can you just Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? Because I'm gonna be going out of town or whatever, and I ain't gonna care what you do. You see what I'm saying? You can make that kind of, and that's an agreement that you all come into where you're still able to honor God and you're still able to honor your husband.
And not only that, Miss Tina, if the thing about it, what I was trying to get too strong, because God did put that on your heart, you're automatically gonna find favor with God, and He's gonna change the heart of the man. You understand what I'm saying? If God
I ain't
told
asking my husband, can I fast?
listen, if God told you to go on a fast, you don't think He's already got the power to you know what I'm saying, to put
I
it
ain't
in.
never heard that.
I know
I'm
one
gonna
thing
say
that
this.
y'all. I know one thing
I
y'all won't submit to from y'all husbands. If y'all husbands told you don't go on YouTube no more, we get a
Oh,
divorce.
child, we getting a divorce. Do you hear me? Divorce.
Drop
I'm on my way to the divorce house. Okay.
You know what you realize, Missy Real?
First of all, when Miss Tina said I need to go ask him to fast, I was on my way to the divorce house. Okay, somebody pop out the bushes and say I'm lying, because
I don't pass
listen, listen.
Janice said, I believe and practice, but my husband believes and doesn't practice. She said
That, that
it's
that's
working for them.
that's true. I know a lot of Christian and Muslim couples that are together where the woman's a Christian and the man's a Muslim, and it's like they got houses, businesses, so very happy, and it's or believers or non-believer. I've seen that, and it works. I've seen that.
And that's
No.
the thing though. The husband actually loves the wife. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
yes,
understand the concept of not wanting to, even if it came to nothing no more than eat, I'm finna cook a meal. Do you want some chili tonight? Does
I
that mean,
do that.
but
What Miss
what's
Tina
wrong?
is describing is
I'm saying the same thing.
a
It's the
healthy
same thing.
I see what you're saying.
healthy communication. That honestly, when she broke it down to hey, I need these 3 days. I can't, I got you on Saturday, but I need these 3 days. What I was hearing was communication, submission, not submission, obedience
Miss
to God.
Alice,
And
do
you
you
gonna be
ask your
all right.
husband permission
Why
to
would you-
fast, Miss Alice?
Messy
Oh, my
Amanda. Messy.
Do y'all ask your husband's permission to get up on YouTube?
Real. The answer is no. Okay. Only thing I ask my husband, let me just say this. I need to listen and not talk during this conversation. But what I will say is Amanda is messy, okay? Miss Tina is
Mr. Real when my husband tell me he done had enough of this and he don't want to hear this no more through his house, guess what I do? I hang up. I'll ask Amanda and Vaughn.
Yeah.
Oh,
She say she don't. Okay, Miss Alice, because I don't need the ma'am.
child.
I'm not asking my husband permission to fast a relationship that I got between me and my God. I'm not asking him to fast. I'm going on the fast.
that is a very, very good question. It's like, do you listen to your husband, or do you, if you know you got that personal relationship with that true creator and you feel it spiritually, do you fast? That's a good question. That's a good question.
I'm gonna go on the fast, and me and my husband ain't never had an argument about God. We ain't never had an argument about going to church or my dance ministry or you dancing too much. We ain't never had. Well, my husband loves me. He loves that part of me because he loves me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Y'all have communicated and y'all have an understanding. That's different.
Yeah, hey, look, when we first met, I was smoking weed, I was drinking, I was doing trail riding, doing all that. But when I gave my life over to God or whatever, he respected that, even though he was still in the world. My husband never came in between or don't do this and do that because he loves this side of me. He loves this side of me. He'd rather have this side. He'd rather have sunshine than Amanda, the one that won the fight and crack somebody over the head or something. He loves this side of me.
But that has to do with the relationship that you all have, though.
Right.
When it comes to people and when it comes to women and knowing how to not have contention in their own households, these are things that have to be considered as it pertains to them and wanting to live for God. It's a way to do it. You were able to discuss, I want to live for God in this fashion, and he didn't have anything to say against it. But if he did, you would have to go about it a different way. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
And my husband is even security in the church. So God is,
he's
working
security.
on so he is not. I'm not saying that my husband got it all. He don't. But my husband's security in the church. Man, I couldn't be with no man I had to go ask him, can I fast to my God?
Right.
But
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like that. It's not like that. What you're explaining is completely different from the premise that I was offering. I was saying discuss. I was saying have conversation. I was saying, hey, consider this man because he's your husband.
Yeah, I'm gonna consider my husband. Yeah, I want a tithe of $10,000, baby. I'm going to my husband to go ask him. That would be
something that would bother him. Again, we're talking about women who want to live for God, but still honor their husband, though their husband isn't saved. You don't have that problem, so it don't apply to you.
No, it don't, you right, Miss Tina. You right.
Well,
You
I'm gonna
right.
say this.
Lord, my
My
husband
husband was
chiming in
saved
the
before me,
background.
before we was married or whatever. And I still did ask him a lot of things, and that's still gonna be a problem for me. I'm a little hard head. I have problems,
We know,
so
we know.
no, because I'm for real. Y'all think I'm over here playing a whole anxiety attack, because it's one thing to know that, like when I said I feel like I have a better understanding of marriage and what marriage is supposed to be, okay,
Mhm.
and raising your children, under the covenant of God. Y'all know I'm a little self-centered, so it's like, so you mean to tell me I can go to hell for all these reasons too? Okay, so
Mhm.
that's what I heard when Miss Tina said be asking for stuff. It's like
Mhm.
what?
No, but I love,
And
I love this
you
conversation with Miss Tina. I love this
Yeah, I know,
conversation.
right?
I
All
love
of
Really,
it.
Miss Tina
I
is
love it.
Making a
our
sister think and
first
Yeah.
sweat.
ministry. Let me say this. Miss Tina is saying that our first ministry is to
Mhm.
our husbands.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's what she's saying.
Right.
But you qualify.
Yeah, because
Oh,
at the
God
end of the
gave
day,
you
it
that
says, wives,
husband.
submit
God
yourselves to your own
told
husbands. When
Right.
you take into consideration what kind of husband you got,
Mhm.
you know how to
Oh,
get to him. You
There
know
you
how
Mhm.
to
go.
talk
Thank
to
you, Miss
him.
Yeah.
You know how to
Bring
mhm.
it back to
address
land.
him.
Right.
But make
Okay,
sure
Miss
you're
Tina.
addressing him as you
Okay, Miss
pursue
Tina.
God.
too strong, stupid.
Okay, Miss Tina. I'm getting you. I'm getting you. I got you.
Right.
She let
Right.
us
I
know
Amanda,
what
got
she
we
you.
we I ain't gonna say we all understood because I was still like asked, but when she said I'm
Me
going on
too.
this
Me
fast
too,
for three
Denise. Me
days,
too.
okay, and I
Yeah.
got you on Saturday. I don't know who calling, but I understood what she was saying. Just being considerate and having good communication with you and your husband, because there
Yeah.
are women that go to church and they cause issues in their relationship because of
Mhm.
church.
Mhm.
I can honestly say I don't think I'm one of them. No, I haven't had that
Mhm.
problem. Oh, you ain't been doing it to me because you got saved. No, it ain't been that deep over here, right?
Or like
Yeah.
But
looking too matronly, not like keeping up with
yeah,
themselves. Like, no, I
yeah,
ain't gonna do all
I
that.
like to dress. I will say I kind of because I'm looking to buy. I have a funeral to go to, y'all.
I'm
I've been
sorry.
asking myself,
prefers to
how
you.
do I want to dress now? Because it's not the same feeling of I'm gonna do what I want to do and I want to wear what I want to wear, and it really has nothing
Mhm.
to do with my husband. Has to do with I feel like God is just staring at me a whole lot of times. So
Mhm.
that's why when Miss Tina's saying, ask your husband, your relationship with God, it's like, and I'm gonna keep it real. I even had like, my relationship with God is mine. Like that's just how I feel, okay, because of some of the stuff
Mhm.
that's happened on here. So I be a little on defense when I hear people talk about marriage and God and your husband, and I was like that with my mother. I'm like, this is my relationship, this ain't got nothing to do with him. But when she was explaining certain things to me, and like
Mhm.
I said, she always took it to scripture. She didn't say the ass part, Miss Tina. I got to keep it real. That part didn't come up, or maybe she just knew not to say that to me because her child. Okay, she raised me. But it's like, yo, this is a problem. If I got to ask, to go pour a bowl of cereal for some milk or something, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a problem.
Yeah, no,
You
no.
know.
I think it all turns into, to me, y'all might be right with what y'all saying, but I think it still deals with who has that higher connection with God. Because when I was looking at the story of Deborah, because men didn't want to submit to God and
Mm-hmm.
didn't have bravery or courage, and
Mm-hmm.
a woman stood up and was like, I don't care, I'm with God, I'm going to continue praying, and I'm strong, and I'm fast, and I have great abilities and great strength. He then said, okay, well, since you're close to me and since none of these men are doing it, I'm going to work through you since you believe in me. And so I look at stuff like that too. So it's like, if a man is not capable, that's what I kind of get, with certain senses. Like, say, for instance, I'm gonna ask y'all ladies a question. If
Mhm.
you're with your husbands, or
Mhm.
like, if your fiance to be, and he's like, you know what? I'm the man. I only want us to have one savings, one check-in. We're gonna put all of our savings in it, right? Would you do that? Or just in case Because you know how some men are, and some men can change inside the future, and you know they feeling their oats and all this stuff. Would you begin to just for like, you know,
Yep.
purposes
Rainy
save
day
A
money?
rainy
fund.
day
Yeah.
fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hey,
know,
y'all.
Good
My
choice.
listeners,
Yeah.
Yep.
oh,
1,000%.
my
1,000%.
yeah.
listeners has
Thank you, y'all.
spoken.
Okay, I'm just making sure y'all ain't being naive now.
Okay,
Oh
Miss
no.
Lee.
Oh
Bye,
no.
y'all. I'm
See,
getting
look,
off
y'all.
YouTube.
Another submissive woman. Okay, her husband come home. She getting off the live reel.
He
You
done
see?
said
You
get
see,
off
real?
there. It's time. Hey, he said it's time. So look, real. I'm getting off like my husband told me to. So I
Okay,
won't end up
Mimi.
in divorce court.
It was
Oh,
very
thanks
nice,
for coming
Mimi.
up, Mimi.
Thanks,
Have a
Mimi.
good night.
Have a
All
good
right, y'all
one.
have a good night.
Have a
Thank
good
y'all
one.
for having me.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss
No.
Tina, for your insight
Uh,
and your wisdom, ma'am.
all right.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I
wonderful.
I got a question.
Your brother in the chat, Vaughn.
You talking about the ops? But
What's
hey
up, Blaze?
Blaze.
What's up, Blaze?
I have a question. So real, I've heard a lot of men on social media bring that up. Oh, you supposed to submit to me. We supposed to be putting our money together, but you got money put to the side just in case. Just in case what? And it's like, just in case, I don't know, you die, just in case you break a leg, just in case you ain't got it. What's wrong with a just in case fund? The just in case fund don't have to be, oh, if you just running up out the door. Just in case fund can be, oh, like I said, you die, you break a leg, you can't go to work. I
Okay,
got
Tina.
some money.
All right,
Miss-
Here
Tina.
you go. Good night, Miss Tina.
Good
You
night.
Good
know,
night.
what happens? What happens when, what's wrong with, because how I look at it is two heads is better than one. Okay. Because if I'm solely relying on, oh, Senator kicked herself down. If I'm solely relying on your brain, okay, and your pockets, but you bringing home the bacon and I split the bacon in half, okay, and I put some of the bacon in the freezer just in case, why would you have a problem with that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you could be listening to your man while he says something like that, where it's like, okay, I'm going to submit to him inside this fashion, but yet, now I'm going to bring up another subject. This is why they introduced alimony into the United States system, because men were doing this so much back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So-called, men of gods, and this was in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. I don't want my wife to work. I want her to be home. I want her to be a housewife, and I'm gonna be the breadwinner. I don't want you doing anything, right? And what ended up happening in the 50s and 60s was these men would get with these younger mistresses, like they just kept doing it. And then now, because the woman wasn't allowed to, like work or have any trades or anything, when he would get with that younger mistress, like in the United States when that stuff was happening, these women didn't have any training. They didn't have any money. They didn't know what to do. Now he's with this new younger girl having a baby with her, and she still got the child. That's why they started introducing alimony, because they're like, okay, if you're going to do this and the wife has no training, she's just thrown out to the curb, and now you want to be with this younger woman, now you got to pay her. This is why women started doing that, because they were getting married in the church and doing all this other stuff. This is black and white couples too, but they didn't care about no vows. They're like, okay, you reach a certain age, now we got a maid or the midwife or a mistress. They started messing with them getting pregnant. I want this one. I want her. So we got to be real with these things too, because sometimes you can still marry a man of God and their minds can switch.
Oh yeah,
because
for sure. For sure.
it happens.
For
Like,
sure.
or
Yeah.
females.
I've seen it. Yeah.
So I think it's to me, I think a woman should save and still be learning things, because y'all have to remember this too. Some men, not all, I'm just saying this is for another part for y'all to look at. Some men know how to play that part very well and mask, and they'll be men of God, but there's still like this part of them that's a narcissist. And when that narcissistic pride side kicks in, it's like, I don't want you to do this because if I know that you don't have money saved and any of this stuff and everything, you're going to solely depend on me and you can't go nowhere. So it becomes a control thing.
Right.
Like in their mind. Like I'm telling you how a lot of these men think. Like I've seen my colleagues and certain people talk about this stuff. They're not going to say it, but that's when it turns into control. It's like a control thing.
Well, and that, you know, that's one thing that I like about my parents is that my dad don't even know what's coming in and out. My mom is the type of person, she'll turn, you know, a nickel into $20. So he gives her all the money. My dad has always given my mom all of the money, and my mom has just known what to do with it and took care of his 4 kids and took care of him. And you know, it doesn't. I don't think it works for everybody, though. I don't think
That's
it works
fine.
for
Some women
everybody.
are more financially literate than men. Like you, sometimes women got to be very smart in some of the decisions they make,
True.
you know, because sometimes a man could be all this and that, but it's like if he got a gambling problem or
Mhm.
severe, you know, this problem or into drugs or whatever, it's like sometimes women will like, okay, I will take control of the money because I know how you are. Like I'm a little bit more financially literate than you, or vice versa. Like
My
we
dad's
just
not
got to
that
be real.
financially illiterate. He just trusts my mom, and you know, always has. Yeah,
She
yeah.
was like the secretary,
But
of course.
my mom, when it came to making certain purchases, she always asked my dad, could she do it?
Except for the women who be sneaking behind their husband's back ordering a whole bunch of
Yeah, I
Amazon.
don't see any.
No,
I don't
she don't do
real with
that.
the shade, boy. But no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
Sana, I don't see anything wrong with that because I've done that. I do that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this: when I got my own money, though, I ain't asking nobody nothing about what I can and can't buy. It's being bought. Okay. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Okay. Vaughn is
I said
good
she
with
ain't asking
money.
nobody nothing.
No, I'm being
Because
honest
if he
with y'all
gave you the
because
money
I
if he
know.
gives you an allowance, then it's your
mhm,
money at that point.
right.
Right.
But no, real. What I wanted to say was years ago, y'all, and I'm only giving this example because things are a little different now. But years ago, when we were married and we weren't married, I didn't feel comfortable just spending his money. I would ask because to me it was his money. But like I said, when I had my own money, my own job,
Yeah.
he, like Real said, he would come home to Amazon packages. And guess what? I'm gonna even be honest. I have snuck and spent some money. I've done that. But that was after he told me you don't have to ask me to go into the joint account. Now, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't think he should have told me to do that at that time. Because let me tell y'all what happened. I
Oh
hid
God.
I hid a coat. I hid $100 coat. I hid some Amazon packages. I had Amazon packages going to my grandma's house. Okay. And he was like, "Where is the
I
money,
know.
Kevon?" Like, honest to God, y'all. He was like, "Where is the money?" And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I overspent all my, like, I played the whole, but no, I don't see anything wrong with that because some people will just go into your bank account, and I would see that on the internet and I would think it was wrong. And I'm gonna even say this: when I saw that other women snuck and bought stuff and hid stuff from their husbands, I felt a little better. You know what I'm saying? It was
But
like,
that's what
okay,
women
so
do
this is
sometimes. Women
normal.
like to buy
Yeah,
things. Women like to buy nice things.
yeah.
Like, I mean, and we have to be real on this internet. Like, I keep telling people, that's why my name's Real. I don't want to really tell people what they want to hear, but I'm like, let's tell people what they need to hear,
You
and
know
like,
what, Real?
let's be real, get it out of our
My
system, right?
husband was like, "This the third wig this week. The
Come on,
third wig."
Amanda. Amanda, when
Putting on
I
the
was
wig.
going through that Barbie phase, he said, "Yeah," he sounds so sick of seeing this Barbie shit everywhere. I was like, "What's wrong with my Barbie stuff?" He was like, "Hey, y'all, this was my money, okay?" But it's like, yo, how many Barbies do you freaking need? How many? Why do you, Kevon? You even now, y'all, you another Barbie sweater? They got it on Fashion Nova. Like what?
They do.
But
It's
guess
on
what?
Fashion Nova. They do. They still got it.
But guess what? It's vice versa. Cause I'd be like, another bottle of cologne. Dang, how many another beard oil. You try too many things, you're gonna mess yourself up. So it's like we
But
kind of
you,
equal around here.
but when you have money, do you buy stuff for your husband?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
But
I
Okay.
sometimes the
mean,
Look,
husbands they
you.
don't care.
I'm not gonna
Like
say
men, if he probably
my
don't care too much.
husband got beat in his truck, and he be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on that beat. I was like, this a new amp. This ain't the same amp. You got batteries and big old
Amanda,
long speakers in the back, double and big old speakers. Where this come from? This is not the same
y'all.
beat. That's
Right,
She sound like my grandma. She sound like my grandmother with my
right.
grandfather. Man, he got a beat up car and he loved fixing up and putting stuff on. And she'd be like, "How many dang old tires does that car need? Like what? I
no,
didn't
he
order the
be
right tire
buying
for like
music.
that
A
for
new
that.
radio. He just bought a
He got
new
like
radio
a
last week. Why you
Yeah,
need a
what is
they
new
be doing that
radio?
is
with
it
their
one of
car. They
them? Is
love
it one
their
of them vintage cars, Amanda? Because
Oh
my
my
grandfather
God.
has a vintage car, like one of the vintage. No, like they little thing that
Nah,
they
it
play
sound like he
with
got one of them
outside in the garage.
Chevys or Cutlass Supremes, and I got to get this and
Yeah,
the candy
real.
apple and
Yeah,
the
he got all that
sound
stuff, and
system,
it's
the subwoofers.
I'm talking about my
Yeah.
husband is ridiculous. He got 24s on this truck, 24s on my truck. I don't want to ride rims. I want to
I'm
hit a
rolling.
pothole or two. Now I got to drive all careful because you just put these 24-inch rims on my truck.
Hey,
I
yo,
don't want them on my truck.
Just
well, you
Ooh.
got to
y'all
submit
hear
to your
this?
husband. Your husband.
Look, I'm gonna mess with Amanda. Just
Y'all are
ungrateful. That man
hilarious.
hustling to get them tires for you so you can look nice driving down the street. You complaining about
I don't
potholes.
care. I'm driving in a big old Obama Cadillac. I don't need that. I look like a dope dealer. I'm a
Oh
church
my
goer. I
No,
don't even
God.
look like no
Amanda,
dope
who
dealer.
who truck
Yeah, so
who
some
truck
women
you
are crazy.
driving in? Did you say Barack Obama Cadillac
Yes,
president?
the Barack Obama Cadillac, the big long black Cadillac with 24-inch rims out, tinted windows. I look like a whole dope dealer. I don't want to look like no
Yeah,
dope
but that's
dealer.
what he wanted. Women don't want stuff like that. They're like,
No,
eh.
no,
That's why
I
I
don't
no.
see
say when
nothing
he give
wrong
me
with it,
this new
Amanda.
car, I'm gonna give me a GMC Denali. I don't want any rims. Just keep me with the factory. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I don't need no tinted windows.
Y'all,
I don't need none of that. I want the police to
Amanda
be
trying
able
to
to see
act
you in the
like
vehicle.
she trying to act like the sweet church lady with the purse candy, knowing dang on well she gospel gangster. Like, stop playing, Amanda. Okay?
I
You
don't
know,
want
Crazy.
no
I don't
24-inch
know.
rims.
When we sliding on folks on YouTube, I don't want to ride in the Denali. I want to ride in the Barack Obama Escalade Cadillac. That's what I want to ride in. Okay? That's what I.
Man,
Where Miss Mimi
it
at?
sounds
Miss
like
Mimi, you want to
gorillas
be in a
in his
Denali?
trunk. Do you hear me?
So,
Brr, 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 brr. Who want to drive with all that up in the truck? I don't want
Yeah,
to do
right.
that.
Yeah.
You hear it 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's ghetto.
It is kind of ghetto. I
Amanda,
mean, I don't care about some of that.
real,
That
shut
is
Yeah.
up.
ghetto.
Don't
I
be coming at
don't.
my bro like that.
But
It's
you
not
know what?
ghetto.
The only reason I like it is when we go riding on the Sunday and he play the little love music. I like it
Oh.
then. But not
Oh.
just
Yeah.
no, I want to kill a nigga, shoot a nigga, and he ride down the street. I don't want to be riding down the street.
Amanda, you gonna stop playing with my bro, okay? He wanna be gospel gangster. I
No,
don't see nothing wrong with it.
Feels
Gospel,
good. This should be
gospel
played at odd
gangster.
night, preferably in a residential area. I know that song. That feels good. Go ahead.
Real, you a trip.
Listen, it's like to each their own. Because the thing is, everybody gonna sit up here and say what a perfect marriage is, but we all know that everybody's marriage is different, and everybody got little twinks and twangs that they do, which works for them. Like we can't. There's no one size fits all. Like it's not
I
it's not
just
gonna happen.
I just don't. It's just like everybody always says, oh, marriage is so hard. It takes a lot of work. I mean, I'm just like, where's the
Because it
sweetness?
does, Senna. Oh, I'm
Well,
gonna say this.
I'm not, and
Because
I'm
wait,
not in a
wait, real, wait,
in the
real,
tale.
beginning,
Go
wait,
ahead.
real. Because Senna said this earlier, and I wanted to say this, Senna. I used to cringe too before I got married. Okay. My grandfather has been telling me since before I was somebody's wife, marriage is a job. Okay. He
Huh.
tells me that marriage is a job. I
Mhm.
used to hate it. I still, depending on the day, if I hear it and hear somebody, I roll my eyes, but it's the honest to God truth. It's a job. There are sweet moments. There are cuddly moments. There are I'm so in love with you. But the reason people say it's hard or a job or work or serious is because it is. It really is. That doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean because and
And
then you go through
sometimes we get fired, we get terminated.
Yep, and you go through seasons. I was relieved when I heard Michelle Obama say she couldn't stand her husband for 10 years. I was relieved.
And
This man is
she
the
proposed to
president.
him.
This man is the president of the United States. They have children together, and they're successful. And guess what? For 10 years, she couldn't stand her husband. Okay,
That's a long
I've heard
time.
that's a long time. Her reasons though was because while he was pursuing his career, she was raising their children. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear normal people say things like that all the time. We don't too much hear certain people being honest about what marriage is. What
You
we hear
fall
is
in
I
and
love
out of love in marriage.
right.
They
You hear
always
I love my
clean and
husband.
clean. You
I
can
love
see
my
him coming
wife.
through the door. Why is he even
Right.
here today? He shouldn't
And then you got
even came from.
then you got the married
Go ahead.
couple. You got the married couple that swear they've never been through anything, and then their peep this, Senna. You have the married couple that swear they've never been through anything, and then their children grow up and never get married. Why? So it's not that marriage is a bad thing. It's not that
I feel
there's
attacked because my parents got 4 unmarried kids, so I'm triggered right
oh no. I don't listen.
now.
I didn't mean it that way. But what I'm saying is, think about it. Why? Because I was misled listening to women. The men, my grandfather kept it real with me.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Just by saying marriage is a job. Meanwhile, I had married women. Oh, marriage is the best thing on earth. Marriage is this, marriage is that. You need to get married. You need to stop having those babies and you need to get married. It was marriage. Same thing for my husband. Y'all need to get married. They kept telling us to get married, but we weren't ready to be married. Do you understand that? So
And tell them
say,
why it's the job. Like, explain why it's the job. Like, I'll give you the first 2 hints. It's like, one, you got to always, if you're not, sexually enamored and endowed, you always got to be worried about pleasing your husband and pleasing your man, even if you don't, want to, like that becomes a job.
That. I ain't got no problem.
Like,
honestly,
Senna, real is right.
25% of the marriage. If y'all doing is booting it up, something wrong.
You said what?
It's more than marriage than sex.
No, I agree, but there's some men, where they you got to give it to me whenever I want, even if you like, say you want to take a week or 2 to yourself. You think your husband's gonna really, want to hear that? Like,
I'm gonna say if he loves you, he will. But and he's considerate. There we go. He is considerate of your feelings. And vice versa. You're considerate of the other person's feelings. When you come into a situation with another person, relationship wise, and you're like living together, you have to be considerate of each other's feelings. And a lot of times, Senna, that don't happen. The other person can feel that you're wrong. You can feel that you're right. The other person can. Right. They don't want to compromise. They don't want to hear what your problems are, or they feel you don't have any problems, or my God, I'm only 7 years in.
Necessarily with the woman. What if he got a erectile dysfunction? You get what I'm saying? He can't
come
perform.
on, Amanda. Right. You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
I said, come on. You can't go cheat.
Are you going to be patient with him?
Right.
Are you going to help him go get some Viagra so he can stay up or whatever the case may be? I mean, it's more to marriage.
It's a job.
Yeah.
And then
if they get sick, you got to become their caretakers. Like,
no, yeah. And then my thing is, you can have an emotional embarrassed. That's satisfying too when it's a connection there and it's just the touch feel kiss. You know what I'm saying? It's not always about
I like that what you said, because I like to be able to connect with people like kind of more emotionally and mentally,
Yeah.
because then everything else becomes better. So I know what you mean when you say that. Like it just sometimes you don't even have to have sex. Y'all could just be eating
Oh, you
food
could just
together and
walk through
just
the door and I
chilling.
get that little feeling like that breath, my breath just go away like, oh,
Yeah.
I love that man. I
Yeah.
love that man. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right. You
So,
definitely have your days where you're all in
yeah.
not even days. You have your months where you're all in love.
Yeah.
You have your
Mhm.
weeks
And
where
then
you're
one
all in
thing
love.
you
You can
bring
have
up all
years
the
where you
old
all in
stuff.
love.
You remember you didn't take out the trash that day? I don't want to
Right.
talk to you for 2 weeks. I'm mad about the trash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
say
So,
this: you can't be. Cinna, when you asked me, did I think it was a good idea to get married young? I say no, because I think
Hey, Candy
when you're
K,
young,
all day.
you're much very immature,
Yes,
and
I
some
agree with
people.
that.
I'll say this:
same
some
with that.
people are more mature than others, and I'll even go as far to say some women are willing to tolerate, certain things that other women aren't willing to tolerate. You know
Mhm.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
In order for their husband to come into their golden time of day. And then
Right.
you have some
Yeah.
women like myself who's like, I'm not doing that, okay? And then I had to go through my own, still going through seasons of things, right?
Yeah.
But what I've learned is, you know, and what I've given myself a lot of grace for is that the fact that I was young, you know, and I feel like, when you make a commitment to another person, you really should be in the mind frame of
Mhm.
till death do you part, you
Okay.
know,
Right.
through sickness and health,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
richer for poor, what is it? Don't go to bed angry, because in immaturity, you will fight and argue about stupid things that
Mhm.
like can be resolved. A lot of people say, "Oh, y'all get this stuff from Facebook," but a lot of these things are common sense.
Mhm.
When you have an issue with your spouse, it should not turn into a series of the silent treatment from
Yeah.
either party.
Right.
It shouldn't turn into, oh, until you kiss my ass, I have nothing else to say to you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that
Mhm.
causes a lot of emotional damage in
Right.
a relationship. And
Mhm.
people think that, it's easy to be in a commitment with a person, or they think, oh, well, I didn't have those problems. Well, maybe your spouse and even yourself didn't grow up in certain situations where they saw the silent treatment. You know what I'm saying? Or they saw their parents arguing, or they saw
Mhm.
their father outside in the streets all the time and their mother at home, or they saw their mother working all the time and their father
Right.
was at home.
Right.
So, for me personally, I have my own view of marriage, and I do think it's hard. And
Mhm.
I will also say it is rewarding, and
Yeah.
it's not rewarding as far as financially, it's more
Mhm.
so rewarding having somebody willing to do life with you.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I can honestly say about my entire adulthood, is that I did it with someone
That's
and he
good.
did it with me.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I'm
good.
saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it can save your life too, because sometimes people like I look at when I look from the outside in, I'll be looking at certain people I used to know, and I'm just like, it's probably a good thing that they got married or this or had kids or whatever, because now that doesn't save this person from the streets, because you could have been, unalived or
Mhm.
a crackhead or
I would have been
anything,
a madam.
Lord
I
Jesus.
can't. I just can't.
I
I
mean,
can't.
probably, it
Good
it
Lord, I
it
can't. I cannot with Vaughn.
it
Look, we're gonna have
saves.
fun on this panel, okay? Ain't finna be all
No,
marriage is
seriously,
hard and it's work, and
and
you got
and
to put some icy hot on his knees, and you got to get on your
And
knees from
do, and
time to
do,
time,
and do,
and
and
and,
and do
and I'm
run
not
the
finna get
PJ
up,
on
and
the knee.
and you got to
and
bust it
did
And
wide
do,
and
open to
did
keep him from going over here,
and
and
do,
you got to keep your legs closed and don't look at Robert down the damn street.
and,
I'm not finna do
and
that.
do, and do, and do, and do, and
Amelia,
do,
shut up.
y'all are
and do.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true, and I'm glad that everybody can at least be honest, because like I don't like when people, oh, I submit to this and I submit to my husband and all this stuff, and then meanwhile you over talking your husband and telling your husband shut up and all type
No,
of
real. No,
everybody.
let's keep it a bug. You in the in and out the hospital, anxiety, panic attacks, stomach hurting all the time, hair
Come on,
falling out, stressed out, don't want to go home, don't want to sleep next to the man. And the same thing for the men.
Come
Stay
on.
out all
Come
night because
on.
you don't want to go home to her nagging ass.
Go to
Okay.
the
Yeah.
casino,
Like,
Yup.
right,
okay?
go to
Yup.
the casino,
Nag
you
it,
Yup.
got two,
Nancy.
three, four
What you got
bitches.
to
I mean,
say?
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yup.
Women, because you don't like your wife. Like,
Come on.
some
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, I took advice from some of them folks and I can't stand them. No, I'm just kidding. But
Amen. Hey,
no, I'm just
man.
playing, y'all. I'm just playing. But no, for real
I ain't.
though,
No, I'm
some
just kidding.
people will put on and I'll be honest and say I was young and I was for the fairy tale of what I thought a relationship and a marriage would be. And I've matured now and I understand that no, this ain't no joke. This is real life. If something was to happen to him, I'm responsible for him and vice versa. We have
Yeah.
to what the one thing I can say I really like about when I read about what a wife is supposed to be. For me,
Yeah.
y'all, it's like
Miss
it's
Alice.
what she said. What she
She
said.
said some people cry and some people don't.
What
You know
works
what? I can't
what works for
stand
you
Miss
works for
Alice.
you.
I
Some people cry,
swear I
some
can't
people
stand.
don't.
But no, um, she
You
said
know
some
the
people
worst
cry,
thing
some
to
people
do is
don't.
take with people that ain't never been married, ain't never been in no relationship, and they try to give you advice on marriage. Well,
Oh,
That's true.
if I
I've
was
had
you, this
I've
what I would do. This what
I've
I would
had
Look,
do.
I've had married
Amanda, I hate
women
them
come
heifers.
to me
And
I
can't
can't
and
stand
like,
them.
and can't even keep a man, or can't even
That
keep their
part.
own man.
no, but
Good.
I've had
Notice you
married
come home last night. Girl, come on, let's go. Let's leave. And then your marriage all break up. And Sally Sue, the one that been sleeping with your husband the whole time, the one that's
Come
trying to
on,
give you the
Amanda.
advice.
Come on.
Ooh.
No,
that's
man.
Okay.
true.
Mm,
And
That's
then
true.
Ain't
some, and
doing
then
it.
mm-hmm.
That's
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna
true.
say
That's
this too.
true.
What I really do like about what I have learned about what a wife is supposed to be to a husband, y'all, it is refreshing because it's like, I had my way of how I wanted things to go. And when things didn't go the way I wanted them to go, I was discouraged. Did I say it? Yeah, discouraged, right?
Hmm.
Getting into the Bible version of a wife is so much better because like Miss Tina was saying, when you doing right by God, God got you.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying I can honestly say I think the best advice I've been given is for certain things is, you know, do right and pray for him.
Hmm.
That has been the best advice because when you if you're like me and you just want things to go a certain way and they don't, you get easily discouraged or you feel like why is this happening to me or why did I do this or why.
Yeah.
Like if when you worry about I'm not gonna say worry about, when you focus on yourself and not so much on your spouse, y'all, it's just a little relieving. And I'm just speaking for myself
Hmm.
because for like it's like okay, I know I'm supposed to do this for him. I know I'm supposed to do that for him. I know, God wouldn't want me to do that. Okay. He wouldn't like if I did this, right? And
Hmm.
I promise y'all, this is how I've been thinking lately. But the best part about that is, as long as I'm doing right by him, no matter what he's doing to me or not for me or whatever, that's why I was like, okay, Miss Tina, I hear what you're saying because my mom said to me, God will take care of him. We
Hmm.
can. That's what I was trying to explain to you earlier, Senna. We
Okay.
go into relationships, or some of us have had this experience trying to change a person.
Hmm.
And it's not always the women, sometimes it's the men too. And that's
Hmm.
why a lot of men have affairs because instead of going to God, they go to another woman, right?
Hmm.
Instead
Hmm.
of going to God and asking him to pray, I mean, going to God and praying for their wives, they turn to another woman.
Hmm.
And it's like, do right by your spouse. I'm not saying if they're beating on you, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, or
Hmm.
but there are some things you can want your spouse to do, and no matter what you do, no
Hmm.
matter the facts you lay out, no matter like, hey, look, they just won't do it. You have to go to God. Otherwise, you're just gonna stress yourself out trying to change a person that only God can change and convict
Right.
and show them the error of their ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what I wanted to tell you earlier. If you are attracted to men that don't have a relationship with God, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I'm a be honest. Me personally, um, I knew Jim didn't have the strongest relationship with God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, but keep in mind, neither did I. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
particularly focused on that at the time. I just liked that he went to church. But in other situations, it'd be like, but you go to church. How can you? Because he didn't have a relationship. Do you understand
Yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think it's okay to date someone that knows about God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it's smart or wise to marry someone who doesn't. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I feel that only God can change a person. That's really just how I feel, you know. And I don't that's really all I got, sis. You know, if you like a
Yeah.
guy, you know, that or men who pursue, now I'm gonna say this. I have a whole different dark theory about men who pursue women of God and they're trash men. You know, I'm not gonna go
What's
into
your theory? Because that's the title of my life. So what's your theory?
um that they want someone to take advantage of.
Hey, Wanda, sweetheart.
Um
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to say that.
That's not always the case. Can I tell y'all
no,
something?
No,
no, no, no, no, no, no,
I was
real. I'm
waiting for
not. I'm
somebody to
not
say
saying
that.
that that's.
But it's the truth
I
in
am.
some
I'm
cases.
not saying that
Yeah.
that's always the case. I'm just saying from what I have seen, and it's only maybe been like maybe 2 women who were like really into church and into God, and then they had these trash dudes who were like, you know, kind of weird, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know, you withholding yourself from me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to please me because you want to please
Yeah,
this
them
God
pimp
that you don't
player
see. And it's
ex-prison
like,
con
what?
niggas.
Yeah, come on, real. It's like,
I
yo, so
know
you
those.
want
I know
me
those types. So you are
Yeah.
now,
correct on that.
right? I'm gonna be honest. I particularly don't. I'm gonna say this. When it comes to women and our rights and what we have the right to do, I feel very strong about that.
Mm.
So when wait, hold on. She okay, she's on
Okay.
center. Um yeah, I'm really passionate about that. So when I heard these things, it was like, what do you mean that you know, he wants you to submit to him? He ain't your husband. Like, you know, I kind of was just like real raw because some things just don't make sense to me. How can you ask a woman that's not your wife to give herself to you and you ain't got no money? You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh,
Mhm.
hold on.
Um, Miss Wanda said, I know a
That's so-
girl who was a virgin and a Christian and was saving herself for marriage. A man pretended to love her, married her, and had sex with her, and then left.
Yeah, guys be doing that too. They'll sit there and wait for a couple of months. You know those women who withhold sex, like, oh, I have the 90-day rule or 6-month rule. They'll wait along. Just like you don't never know. Like, you know, sometimes you think you know, but what they say, you can even come as an angel of light. Sometimes you can get
Mhm.
bamboozled. But
So how do you feel about the 90-day rule, the 6 months rule, the we ain't doing it till we're married? What how do you feel about that?
I
What
mean,
real quick, Blaze says for me, my relationship with God is strengthened through prayer and everyday practice. Amen. That's good. Okay, go ahead, Real.
to that, I'm gonna say to each their own.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I've seen people who, you know, didn't wait. They were both into God, and it's just like, you know, within a couple of weeks they did something, and then, you know, my boy asked me about it. I'm just like, well, you know, you're not supposed to, but you did. And then now, you know, they're loving together, they go to church, they do all this kind of stuff. So like I said, to each their own. You could
Yeah.
still, you know, that goes to the whole believing, unbelieving. Like if one believes and another doesn't, but if they want to stay. Now, I've also seen this. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
telling people even to do this, but I'm just saying we can't sit here and say that these instances don't happen when they do. I
Mm-hmm.
know, I know a few Christian girls. Well, now they're women, and a Catholic woman too. And you know, one of them pursued a guy at,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Caribbean Day Parade. He wasn't really of God. They got married. They have kids. Now they go to church or some agape church.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Catholic girl. Like he pursued her. He pursued this woman.
Mm-hmm.
he still continued with her stuff, became like, you know, a nurse. They stayed like around the corner from me, whatever. And now guess what? Have a house together, have a nice business. They have kids, a big house, upgraded, got their nice cars, and they're, you know, always talking about God and everything. And, you know, she kind of like transmuted him. Same thing with the other girl, with the other Christian girls, they kind of transmuted their men. They wasn't, they were kind of cool. Well, one of them was cool. Another one was kind of like a hornball. He was known. And another one was kind of just like regular. Like he would just, you know, like he was nice, but he wasn't into God. And guess what?
Right.
He got with her. And because of her, like, strong values, and look, I went to college, I did all this stuff, and he kind of just fell in suit. And now they're, you know, God-fearing couple. This is from stuff I see.
Yeah.
And I asked them about this. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it can happen.
Yeah.
It can. We can't say it can't. It can.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like, or look at our ancestors back inside the day, our great grandmother. Some of the men, they were just like, you know, like, oh no, you know, I got to go to church and stuff. But then they seen the guy who's picking this and picking the cotton, and it's like, he's a man, he's this. And when the slaves got freed, guess what? I want him. Well, you know, I sing inside the church and all that stuff. Well, you're a mighty good woman, and then guess what? She transmuted him.
Yeah.
And this is facts. You can look this up.
Yeah.
This is facts.
I agree.
You can look this up. Okay, real.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
But no, what I was saying was, Senna, that's why I think that way. I don't think that it's all men. First of all, I've never been some good church girl. You know, I don't feel like anybody's out to get me, okay, or ever. But that's just why I feel that way about me. I'm gonna say more so men, because like I said, I know, you know, a couple or two that was just like, they is constantly using the word submit, but nobody was married. And it was weird. Okay. And some women, in my opinion, you know, just deserve better than that. And, you know, I get a little frustrated when I hear single men on the internet talking about, I need her to submit to me before we get married. And it's like, what? You know, I don't know. Like, y'all don't ask me no questions, because the way my attitude is set up, like, I'm a little crazy. And some things just turn me off when I hear men say stuff like that. So, you know, yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
It's all about control.
Yeah, it's
all about, and I wish people would be honest up on this platform, because I you know, as before I became a, you know, I don't know how I became a content creator. It just happened, but because I'm on autopilot. But anyways, it's like I've seen so many things in the past few years. And I need people to be honest, because a lot of people who, like, I like how, you know, like Vons be like, oh, well, you know, when we were younger, this, and this.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
But there's these people up here who will be like, oh, I'm a God-fearing woman. and then my husband's a God-fearing man, and we go by the values. But it's just like, you didn't tell the people what you did to get there, because in the beginning, let's say 10 years ago, y'all might have not even been into God. Y'all could have been smoking this together. Y'all could have been doing that, stealing, not into God. So people will say, oh yeah, God, this and that, and look at us. But it's just like, when you were first married, it was not like that. Like you were just a secular, or, you know, worldly couple. So Mr. Cruz, like, I know, like,
y'all can hear me? I didn't know I was me. I'm sorry. I wasn't. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat, and I'm screaming. I'm going to
what
the
are
chat.
you screaming at, Miss Wanda?
Yes, like, girl, I am rolling because I feel her. It's like, I did that too, Miss Wanda. That's why we got all these kids, girl.
But look at where y'all at now. Like, y'all both got husbands. Y'all both going to church. All this stuff. Y'all was fast at first, but then, you know, because inside your earlier years, your 20s and 30s, and like, it just, people aren't trained. Like, it's like you're going off, like, how can I say this? At your natural instincts. Like, does that make sense? Like, you're going off your instinct. Like, you're gonna want to be with this person, like, who your eyes or mind draw you to, before you start thinking about God. Like, there's the instinct. That's why inside the Old Testament, what did it say? Go take wives for yourselves, or go
Mhm.
take these wives. It wasn't nothing about, oh, make sure she's this, do that. It didn't care how they were. It's like, go take wives. And when I saw that, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
But you know, things change as we go forward. Just like some people will sit here and tell, no, you know, it's not permissible for a woman to talk about God even on the internet, and a woman to teach and speak about God with other men. And it's like, well, I saw a verse that can reverse that. And nobody ever brings this up, because every time I ask people this question about, well, what do you think about the subject of women teaching and women? And they're like, well, that's a touchy subject. Well, guess what? When Christ was reborn and reascended himself through his body here and reached that ascension of going up to that highest dimension, you know what he said? He said, brothers and sisters, go out and teach. And I'm like, oh, so that's where it's permissible, but nobody can bring that up. They just doing what everybody else saying. So that's where I think it came permissible for women to be able to do it. Some men don't like it at all. They don't want women doing it. Even men of God I know, like, no, women can't teach about God. They can't bring up verses. No. So
I think they're weird too.
yeah. And they can. Because if a man's not gonna do it, right? And if a woman has God in her, do you think God's gonna look at you and be like, no? Like, who was the first person to tell the good news? Was it a man or a woman? It was a woman. She saw the good news. And it's like, go tell your brethren, go tell the people, like, you know, I became resurrected. So people just gotta look at stuff like that. You know, and who was who didn't turn on him? A woman. The rest of all them other guys is like, I don't know you. Oh, let me sell you out for a couple of pieces of silver. She the only person who cried. So you got to look at the little tidbits, not the main stuff, but the tidbits. So I'd look
Well,
at stuff
real, you
like
know,
this.
feelings don't matter in today's society for men. Look, I'm a hush. No, I'm not. I'm gonna say this. I have a real trigger inside of me when I hear restrictions being put on women. I don't know what snapped inside of me. I don't know, y'all, but I have a real problem with women can't do this and women shouldn't do that, even if it's other women talking about other women. Like, it's certain things that'll make me say, what? Like, what is that? Why does that even make sense to you? Or um I'll say I have a problem. I wouldn't say I'm a feminist because, like I said, I don't agree with everything, you know, all the time. But it's certain things that really make me want to advocate, you know, and be like with picket signs in the streets, you know, about certain things when it comes to us women,
And
you
there's
know.
nothing wrong with what
Yeah.
I see. These same women will sit and argue with me on any platform, right? And will be like, no, you got to submit to a man, right? But guess what? This is a bomb drop right here. If a women didn't submit to men and didn't speak up, you would not be enjoying any of the amenities that you're enjoying now, like being on the internet. Women were not allowed to be up here, or a woman saying something about sitting here, or a woman being able to have a different type of job. Those women back in the day spoke up. I want this. I want equal rights. I want to be able to have a job and make this much money. Back in those days, it was not permissible. It was illegal in the United States for women to have certain jobs. A woman spoke up about it, right? So some same women will be like, well, no, you're not supposed to. But then, oh, do you know that one of the jobs that you have is illegal to have until a woman, some white woman spoke up about it in the 30s or 40s? And you can look all this stuff up, you know? And it's like, everything is jumbled up and decombobulated to a point where people don't even realize it. Like, let's say if you want to go by the Bible aspect, if the Bible is the word of God and you got to listen to the law, and the law is permissible by you putting your hand on the Bible in a court of law, and the court of law is what we're supposed to listen to, then when a woman becomes a judge, and if this is handed down by God, when a woman is a judge, make that make sense.
Right.
So people, they don't know how to answer it because some of these people, they don't know what they be talking about. And then yet they'll sit here and go to a judge. And if you don't believe in that, then why you go to a court and let a woman decide your fate if she's a woman judge? Why do you sit here and you so believe in God, but you still gonna put your hand and swear on that Bible? You're still gonna swear.
Yeah. Right.
You know? And then you can't even use none of those stories of the Bible. We're built on so-called Christian values of this country, and you swear on the Bible, but if you try to use so-called, right? But if you try to use any of those stories, which they make you swear on because that is the standard of the law, you'll be considered crazy. If you say somebody put a hex on you, if you say there's a witch out there, or if you say demons, go to the crazy house.
Real.
No, seriously.
Like, that's real. You don't. I know where you coming from, bro. And people think I'm crazy. People think I make stuff up. People think I just say stuff about people because the sky is blue, and it's like, no, okay. Like, I'm gonna say this when it comes to witches and demons and the spiritual.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Not only is it in the Bible, there are whole what? Okay, here's the one thing I do not like about social media. Is that some people have done things for clout so much that people cannot discern, and I'm going to use the word discern, real from fake. Witches aren't real. People just do that for views and clicks and money. Witches are very real. Okay. Stop it. All right. You can play the same way I can get on my knees, okay, and pray to God, okay, and he can bless me with whatever it is that I'm asking for.
They can pray to Satan or demons to do the same thing.
Thank you, real.
But it's crazy when Christian women say that. They be like, oh, that's nonsense. You're crazy. How are you a Christian woman and you believe in the Bible, but you're going to admit that part about witches and warlocks? Do you know who? There was a huge warlock who had a lot of power. There's warlocks too. Look up Bar Jesus. Look up Bar Jesus. He was in the Bible, and he was a very powerful warlock, and it said those words who had great power. Like that's what they do. Witchcraft, or the people who were able to emulate what Moses did. It's a thing, and I'm starting to question some of those people who are Christians, is that be like, well, that's not real, and I'll be looking at them side eye like, but yes, there's witches right underneath y'all noses. Just when I tell you that, and they don't like me because I'll be exposing them, and they're like, they don't. They try to get y'all with their word spellings, and they use this charm where they'll charm people, and they say the craziest things, and it's like groups of people won't even hear what they're saying. But if you say one other thing about them, it's like that's because they're using word spells. So now they trick
real. You better
hold on. And I'm gonna tell you what these people do. I'm gonna tell you what these witches do. Then what the witch will do, because they use spell work, which is spelling what they're saying. What they do is now those people that come back, because it's a whole trickery that's going on, they'll say what they can, and then they use a money spell. So what happens is they'll use what you say and then say, look how these people attacked me. And then they do this performance, and then they're able to pull money from the people. And then they constantly it's a spell. It's called spell work and money work. And witches do not like when you talk about
I'm
that.
so glad saying this and not me. Listen. Vaughn, you crazy. Vaughn, you need help.
No.
Vaughn, you're a little girl. Vaughn, you need to grow up. Vaun, you need to stop living in charmed and witchcraft.
You just don't know what they do.
World. Jesus.
If you know what they're doing, then you know how to combat against it. It's just like, it's called reverse binding spell work. And they say these things to get the crowd on their side. And because they're listening to them during that 1 or 2 hour session, their minds become clouded and blinded. And then they'll wait for you. And anytime that their energy gets low or their money gets low,
Yes.
they'll pick you. So it's like, okay,
Yep.
now my money's getting low, my energy's
Yep.
getting low.
Yep.
I gotta pick with this person. So I'm gonna start something. And
Oh
then I'm
my
gonna wait for this person
God.
to
Come
respond. So
on.
when this
Yeah.
person responds, I can
Yeah.
create this stage where now I'm
Yes.
pulling money from these people. So now the people can
Yes.
Yeah.
feel sorry for me. And it's like
Yes.
clockwork.
Oh,
And that's why I told
hallelujah.
y'all, don't do it on 11/11. That's why I warned y'all, do not go up there and do it. Because
Real.
people, that's what
I
they
want you
do.
real. All jokes aside, okay. I literally told this to someone, literally broke it all the way down for them. And they were
Mhm.
like, that's not witchcraft, that's hustling. No,
No.
okay. It
No,
is hustling. Don't get me wrong. It's
it's
hustling.
just
It's
a
hustling.
form.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, real. Because
It's
I
a
don't
form.
have the words all the time.
It's not
But
hustling
it's
because
like,
if you have the power to cloud people's minds for that moment, right?
Right.
And to use that spell, it's called spell work.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
it's a real thing.
thank
Like
you.
It's
these
a
people.
Spell
real
work.
thing. Yeah.
All right. This is how I can easily prove this, right? If people believe inside the Bible, right? If they
Mhm.
believe in the scriptures, and if there's a whole city of beings that said, I want to be like this, I want to be like the Most High, I want to be like this, I want to be like that, right? And they
Mhm.
got tossed down here.
Mhm.
They're going to do things to emulate him. So it's like, well, I want people to worship me too. So pray to me, do to these sacrifices, but instead of drawing power from God, you can draw power from me, draw power from this Nephilim, draw power from this demon,
Mhm.
draw power from this. And it's a real thing. And these people do these
Mhm.
things. Like
Mhm.
it's like
It's
even
it
sex magic is real. These people know these things. Like they'll
Yep.
have sex and think about this person real hard while they're
Mhm.
masturbating and make you try to think of them. Like this is what they do. Like
Yes, real.
ask
I
these
Mhm.
read about
people.
that too. About the sex magic. Yep. When you're minding your own business and you all of a sudden start thinking about things you're not supposed to be thinking about with a person. They're over there I say
Masturbating or
M
think about
wording,
you.
thinking
Yeah.
about you. There we go. Yes.
I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah, that's why
yeah,
you
it
have to break
happens.
soul ties and stuff
But
like
some
that. You
people
have to
just
really
don't know
Yeah.
what they're
stuff like
doing. They're just doing it. And the
Thank
thing
real
is,
that part. That part. A lot of people, okay, don't
Yeah.
even know that some of the things that they are doing is considered, witchery. Like
Right.
they don't
Yeah.
even know it.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like I see it for what it is. And like I'm not saying I'm, oh, blah 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 this, but I'm sure I was placed where I needed to be to break certain strongholds because let's just say when certain people have to been okay, you're courting to go here, and it's just like if certain people didn't come around, certain strongholds I'm sure people saw the strongholds, but yet you weren't able to break free fully. You're like, what is happening? I know something's wrong. This isn't right. And then another conduit will come out of nowhere to help,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, but
Mhm.
still give the power to the glory of God because it's not that
Mhm.
person, it's still God work through people.
Mhm.
And it's just like now you could be happier. Now you could be like, okay, I got set free because I knew that something wasn't right.
Mhm.
Something was off, and I
Mhm.
couldn't pull. Why can't I pull away? It's witchcraft.
You're right.
Yep. You've made an
100%.
agreement, or you've made an agreement. I
Yeah.
don't want to say covenant.
Unknowingly,
Yeah.
unknowingly.
Unknowingly
Yeah.
made agreements with things
Yeah.
that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I'm gonna say what I know. Well, what I do know is anything that pulls you away from God is, of the enemy, right?
Mhm.
So because I went down a couple rabbit holes, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. They kind of almost sent me over the edge because
Mhm.
but you know, what was I gonna say? People think it's like spells and potions, okay,
Yeah.
No,
and bones and now don't get me
Right.
wrong. There is some stuff out there that you can do,
Mhm.
but some people use their God-given gifts, okay, prophecy, teaching, having the gift of gab, okay, what is
Pharisees.
it,
It's called Pharisees too.
minister, when you have a ministry,
Mhm.
okay, and they manipulate it. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, before I got saved or whatever,
Mhm.
and I'm saying it like that because I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. Beforehand, to me, witches was like, the one of the best things to be, because there's good witches and there's bad witches, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I love Charmed and all that crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I will say I was taught, you know, not to, you know, tarot card readings and, you know, uh indulge in Halloween, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that stuff is the devil. And
Yeah.
nowadays people are calling witchcraft, you know, spiritual. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
spiritual.
Right.
Not
That's
everybody
good.
who says that, you know, is
That's
a witch,
true.
y'all, or a
Yeah.
warlock, but
Yeah.
they're
No, no.
disguising
Yeah.
spirituality.
Yeah.
I
For
mean,
sure.
witchcraft with
Yeah.
spirituality.
For sure. For
And
sure.
that's how, you know, I was headed in that direction because I wanted to. I did not
Mm-hmm.
like organized religion. I did
Mm-hmm.
not want to be, you know, a woman with all of these restrictions and, you know, you got to do all these things by a man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just, if you ask me, totally bewitched, okay? By
Yeah.
my own, you know, way of understanding things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And disobedience to God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like my understanding of it is just a little bit different. I know it's not spells and potions like that, but I
Mm-hmm.
do know you can manipulate energy. You
Yeah.
absolutely can take,
Yeah.
you know, there's certain pieces, types of paper out here that and candles that you can get, and you
Yes,
write stuff down
everything.
and you
Yeah.
can wait, here you go, real. You write these things down and you manifest them. Hey,
Manifest, you
Mm-hmm.
the
put
word
salt around
the
it. Yup.
come on, real. The word manifestation is in the Bible, okay? But witches, you know, warlocks, demons, and devils, or whatever we want to call, you know, people who have their own beliefs or whatever, they're not doing those things by God. It's for self gain. It's to, you know, build themselves up and, you know, glorify and idolize themselves and
Mm-hmm.
tear other people down. That's why when I, you know, I'd be like, oh, you're not going to take my energy because you may not be a witch center, right? You
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, but me and you can get into it, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you may not even know this, that
Mm-hmm.
you're getting a kick out of me coming live going ape shit crazy on you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's not of God. God does
Right.
not want us, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, y'all. I'm not
Right.
saying, you know, but there are some people who know more about that stuff on a deeper level,
Yeah.
and they know other people don't know these things.
Right.
So once you have your golden time of day, they're gonna call you crazy. But it's
Right.
like, no, I
No,
know what you're doing.
it's
I've
Right.
seen you do
yes.
it before. This is
Mm-hmm.
not, you know, we don't even have to make it about religion. Like
Right.
Rio said, there's
Right.
something not right where people
Exactly.
can see and know, and I've been there too. You can see and know
Exactly.
that someone is not
Exactly.
right. You know, they're
Exactly.
lying, they're
Right.
manipulative, they're
Right.
sneaky. You're
Uh, uh,
helping
uh,
cover up for them. They help cover up for you. You can know all of these
Absolutely.
things and
Come
still not
on.
be able to pull away.
Come on.
So what is that? What
Right.
is that called?
Come on.
it's still
What
it's
is that?
about witchcraft, or it's a soul tie. Like I know people don't want to hear that, but it's in the scriptures. You just got to know how to look for it, right?
Yeah.
There's a scripture.
Yeah. And it's trauma bonding too.
Yes, trauma,
Like,
and yes, it is. Just
yeah.
like people could call down curses from the
Yep.
first heaven. It
Mm-hmm.
said,
Yeah.
"Do not call down curses from heaven upon certain people, because it's not good."
Yeah.
I don't know who those beings are, but those beings give people power too. Because it wouldn't have said, "Don't call down curses from heaven on people." Like
Right.
it's all there. Like
Right.
it's there, and it's just like you've been so manipulated to think this stuff is like, oh, why sell? But go to South America, go to Africa, go to Haiti, go to Chile, go to Ecuador, and these
Yeah.
people will tell you this stuff is right. Like they do it. Like there's people on here that you think like, oh, they're just mean and evil. You don't think they're sitting around for like 1 and 2 and 3 hours reading up some crap they done read up on the internet. So now it's like, oh yeah, let
Come
me try it.
on, real.
Yeah.
That's what
Come
they do.
on.
And then
Yeah.
they don't know what entity they're drawing it from. And
Yeah.
this is why, like, okay, well, guess what? I have control over my region. So I'm turning your power switch off. And these people wonder, like, how did this happen? Why is this not happening? Why is it pulled away? It's just
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna do this. You're
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
do this. You
Let me tell
know?
y'all something. I
Mhm.
learned so freaking much, like with the whole Jezebel thing, that men and women can be Jezebels
Oh yeah, for
because
sure.
it's nothing but a disobedient, you know, controlling spirit. It's like I'm gonna say this. I like right. Okay, y'all. So I have this book right here, right?
Mhm.
Now this one is right next to me. I have a spiritual warfare prayer, okay, book.
Mhm.
And I also have a book by this girl who used to she was a part of a sorority, right?
Mhm.
And she learned that sororities and things like that, like have like when you make like the oath and the promise to always be by, go by whatever Pizza Hut
Right.
or
Right.
right,
Right.
that you're actually making an oath to a deity.
Right.
Yes,
The
the Greek,
internet,
one of the Greek gods.
come on, real. The internet lost its mind. Oh, y'all are trashing. Y'all, you Christians or you people that go to church think everything is the devil,
Right.
right? But I'm going to say this, okay?
And you got to burn an insignia on your chest just to be part of that alpha of
Right.
Chi Beta stuff. You're
Right.
burning
Or you
something.
got to get a tattoo, real. You got to get a tattoo. You got to always wear
A
their little sign
humiliation
and
ritual
symbol
where you got to
and
be
stuff like
hazed in
that.
the
Right.
basement.
There we go. Yeah. But listen, so somebody said to me that, they were, in a, situation or whatever where it kind of resonated to them like there has to be something real about my God because too many people like what they said was believers, Christians, we don't really care about what other people believe, okay? Right? Majority of the time we're minding our own business. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
gonna say the normal people. I'm not talking about the Jesus freaks and the you're going to hell folks, okay? I'm talking about normal people that just like to live their life, right? They don't go around, oh, you should come to church, you should come to church, you should come to church, or you shouldn't go to church, or you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When people attack you for believing in God or going to church, that has to mean something, right?
Yeah.
Because there are so many people against, the Holy Trinity, Father,
Yep.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit,
Mhm.
then and everybody else is open to all this other stuff, right?
Right.
There has to be something there to me it comes off as there has to be a spiritual realm. There has to be demons and devils. There has to be,
Yeah.
humans that walk the earth, with demonic spirits attached to them
If
or
there's
you know what I'm
open
it,
Satan
it has
worshipers out
to
there,
be.
what do
Yeah.
you
Come
think? Like
real, come on.
they're
But
openly
people
tell
think
you
it's
about it.
they think it's a charade. Like some people think it's just for entertainment and people
So
or
why do they waste
that
hours doing it on their altars and have like there's people that have altars inside their house. There's
Yep.
people who like I've seen and it's just like, okay, you're cool, but I'm bound because I can't be you can't be near me. But we had a mutual understanding, and it's like these people that were witches, and I've even seen certain people who went against evil things. So, but I still was like, well, I don't care. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Even if you're so-called good witch and you went against these evil people here, I'm just gonna stay relaxed.
Yeah.
So if these people are actively doing these things, or here, take this, and I'm gonna put my this inside your food, and here I'm gonna put my you know what inside your food and your hair
right.
and blah blah blah. Like, look at what's her name? Like, I don't want to say, but even Miss Badu, she said, "I'm so good at what I do,
Child,
I'll make you change gods." Like,
real. My mother
Um,
used to love her. She won't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
that's how I
Like,
feel about Beyonce.
but Senna, see that's the stuff that I was just about to say. Okay,
Yeah.
y'all, I struggle. I'm gonna say this: when I'm feeling worldly, I struggle with that. When I'm minding my business, I'm cool. It don't even cross my mind. I promise y'all. It
Mhm.
don't even cross my mind. But let's say I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see a picture of her. I'm like, man, she's so pretty. And the first thing pops up in my mind is, but she's a witch, Vaughn. And it's
Yeah.
like, but I like her. So that's what I'm saying. Like I
I
feel when
mean,
I'm
no,
feeling
listen.
when I'm feeling worldly. You know what I'm
But her
saying?
alter
Yeah.
ego is
But
the part that comes through because when you tap into being a star is nothing but those other beings who give special abilities. Once you tap into them, you'll be able to sing, dance, do all these crazy things. So
Yeah.
that who I'm thinking that her name is Sahasha L. When that person comes out,
Mhm.
then that's who you got to stay away
see,
from.
y'all
I'm
talking
Oh,
about old stuff.
Sasha Fierce.
I, I'm okay with y'all talking about, the truth of the matter because I wouldn't say that she was a witch if I didn't see it for myself. And what I saw was one of my favorite songs, okay, that wouldn't stop playing over and over in my head one night because I'm like, Lord, okay, show me where the witchcraft is, y'all. Okay. And I'm not even gonna sing the melody. Okay. But one of my favorite songs by her is Black Parade. Google the lyrics and you tell me, okay, what. And then some people say, oh, crystals and sage is not witchery. Okay, that's fine, right? But ask God and see what
Yeah.
he says, because
Is what
sometimes,
people use it for, because Aaron's breastplate, which
right,
consisted of rubies, gems, and all that stuff, was used to communicate with God. But I think it's when I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I know that he had a
right,
breastplate. But when these people just, when you're doing these things and calling upon these things and manifesting, and there's not an open end conduit, you don't know where you're drawing your energy from. Like, it's like, oh, now this deity inside this realm of the spirit realm, they're like, oh, this person's trying to, oh, let me connect to the end of this. Here, I'll give you what you want, but now what you gonna give in return? That's why some people start aging and looking
yeah.
crazy. They start looking like what that name is, the W. Like,
Oh, real. I was making that because I was explaining something to my husband about how I understand. I have a better understanding of why people were flipping out about Disney movies. Keep in mind, y'all, I am a total Disney fan. I loved all the
Mhm.
Disney princesses. Even Pocahontas is still one of my favorites. Look, y'all, the Lord is working on me. Okay, so I don't want nobody in the bushes saying, "Oh, she talking about all this witch stuff," but she's saying, I have come to the understanding of, God will meet me where I'm at, and He will change my heart about certain things when
Yeah.
He knows I am open and ready to it. So I don't care what anybody thinks. But listen, I was
Y'all,
thinking about the movie.
we
Huh?
got like 3 more minutes. I gotta go. My
yeah,
phone's
that's
about
fine. I
to.
gotta get up
Oh,
early too.
dang, Senna. Okay, real quick, real quick. Look, I
Go
don't
ahead.
have
Go
no
ahead.
job, so but but I was thinking about the movie Rapunzel that came out, right? And
Oh, it
remember
just came out.
the one with
Oh.
the animation when she has the really long hair
Mhm.
and the lady stole her, right? And they
Mhm.
always said, like, the evil queen or the wicked witch,
Yeah.
stole her. Remember, when as long as she combed and sang to Rapunzel, her hair would, every time her hair would glow, she would get
Mhm.
some of her youth back, right? She had to,
Mhm.
but she kept Rapunzel captive
Right.
all to herself. Only I am the only person that cares about you. I'm the only person that loves you. I'm really making a point here. And Father, I am not being shady, but I want y'all to listen.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm keeping you captive up here so that I can take your energy so that I can remain youthful. As soon as the guy, the prince came
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and saved Rapunzel by cutting her hair,
Mhm.
and her hair went from that pretty gold to that, brunette blonde brunette brown blonde color or whatever, right?
Right.
The witch shriveled up and all of her youth was gone.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, when we say energy swapping,
Yeah. Yep.
or someone is feeding off of you,
Yep.
right?
Energy vampires for sure.
Right.
Mhm.
Energy vampires, witches,
Mhm.
warlocks.
Witches,
The-
warlocks.
It
Right.
it was like, oh, I get it.
Mhm.
Because in the spirit realm, witches, okay, feed off um certain kinds of people for their energy or their youthfulness. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make all these deals
Mhm.
and deeds
Mhm.
behind, spiritual closed doors. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yep.
And people think that certain things are just this and that when it's really something deeper, which is
Right.
weird. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was like, oh, okay, I get it. And it wasn't just with Rapunzel. It
Mhm.
was with not was it Beauty and the Beast? Remember, he
Yeah.
was cursed, right?
Yep. Yep.
And the witch had cursed him. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Only
Mhm.
true love could save him. So if you think
Mhm.
about it like that, when you're cursed and you're going through hell in life, and then you go to Jesus because Jesus, died on the cross. He sacrificed because he loved us, right? Only true love can lift the curse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like I may not be explaining it right,
No, I
No,
get
you're
it.
but
saying it right.
I
You're saying
I
it.
have
But
a
the
better
price of love.
understanding of why a lot of I'll say religious people, and even some spiritual people don't like their children watching those things that are fake because it's actually real. and
Yeah.
it's nothing to play with. You don't want to be a
Right.
damsel in distress. You don't want to be
Exactly.
kidnapped by a witch. You don't want to be
Exactly.
cursed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like, oh, okay, you know, only Jesus can save you. He's your salvation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah,
it.
so it's like I get it. I get it, you know, but yeah, that's all I want to say.
Okay. Well, I love you guys. I love everybody who came in, everybody who joined the panel. I gotta go. I'm
It's
pretty sure
fine.
that you guys gotta go too. See y'all next time. Shalom.
All right, see y'all later.
Love you, Sam.
Love y'all. Y'all be good.
Read.